And one.
Welcome to Indie and Unsigned, a presentation of Zagniff Productions, LLC.
Broadcasting live from beautiful Zagniff Studios in the heart of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It is time for this week's episode of Indie and Unsigned, where we bring you tales of the independent entertainer on their way to the big time. Remember who you're listening to today, because you may see them on the big screen or hear them on the radio tomorrow. Hosted by yours truly, the legend in his own mind, the man, the myth, the mad karaoke DJ, Mr. Fingers. And without further ado, let's get into this week's episode.
Indie and Unsigned.
So, but still, you don't want to just make it a thing, though, whether she got it or not. Yeah, you still be vigilant. Daddy, that's Papa Jake. So Papa Jake talking. Hey guys, I'm live. I'm being professional right now.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, how is everybody doing? Glad to have you here with us. It's another beautiful day in the kingdom of Zamunda, and yours truly is King Akeem. I am feeling it today because I got a guest today that I got a feeling he's already laughing. I got a feeling he's going to cut up on me. Me and this man go back about 15, 16 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, legendary hip-hop artist extraordinaire.
All right, I got to stop you there. Yeah, legendary
Empuls
artist. That's crazy.
Now, bro, you have to understand when I say that you do have some far-reaching influences, and the reason that I say that is because when I met you, you were kind of the lyricist of a how many pieces was it? 4 or 5 pieces?
9.
A 9-piece band.
We very rarely were all in the same place due to personal choices and vices and such. Yeah, no, but we were, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to air anybody out. But yeah, we were a 9-piece band. What would you call it? I think we labeled ourselves as ska reggae,
a ska rap reggae fusion.
If that's what you want to call it, just adding D and F chords to Fortunate Son, then that's fine with me. But no, I look. If any of the boys are watching this, man, I'm just kidding, man. That was a tremendous time in my life. And serendipitously speaking, had I not been in that band, we wouldn't have got the opportunity to meet. So don't let me do that. But yeah, I guess as far as legendary, obviously that's something that every artist aspires to or would like to say that they are individually. So when respected individuals say it, then you're like, I'll wear that for a moment.
Well, the reason I go there is because from there, the next time I saw you, you popping up, you battle rapping everybody. You were traveling to get your battle rap in. Like I saw you did the battle with the one you did with Hank Diggs, I believe it was, and that was down in Manassas, Leesburg, somewhere?
So
what? Did I bring up a bad memory?
No. That was the last one that I did. Which now that I think about it, was like 7 years ago. But yeah, so the one was at a place called. It's a funny story. If you guys don't mind, I'll give you the 90-second battle history. So I was supposed to do a battle in 2010 for Grind Time DMV, and that battle didn't happen. I ended up battling in 2011 for the first time on camera. I didn't take it serious, and I completely choked. Like, and which, if you know, is uncharacteristic. Unfortunately, I always have too much to say. I had nothing came to mind, and I literally stood there laughing. And it was the first time I'd ever looked that bad in front of people I didn't know. So I actually enjoyed it. It was very humbling, right? So, but with that being said, you can't get beat up and not go home for you win a fight. So I immediately took the next battle. Tossed that dude, smashed it, no problem. And then it was like, all right, now I want to be 2-1, so
right.
Took another one.
Yeah,
I believe I won that one. That was the one where I wore the Klan hood. That was what I was about to say.
That was my question. I was going to ask you about that. And then
so the first one, the first one was in DC. The second one was in Leesburg against a dude named Blasian. That's the one where I did the second round where I talked about having sex with his mom and his sister and all that.
Wow,
and
okay.
and his girlfriend, and it was supposed, the whole verse was about his mother, but he brought his girlfriend to the battle. So whenever I felt like it, I supplemented his girlfriend for line. So I gave the worst lines to his girlfriend.
Ooh.
And
Ouch.
she was smiling and recording it. You can go on camera. There's a point where I dance up in front of her, and I literally start to dance with her, and
Uh-huh.
she's recording with her finger in her mouth. And
Oh
he,
my.
yeah, it was bad. It was bad, dude. He after the battle, he went and drank in the car, and I'm sure he'd be so mad if I told you this, but who cares? I haven't spoke to him in like 9 years. He went and started drinking in the car. She stayed inside and was drinking and smoking hookah with my friends. And
Uh-oh.
you know what, right? So I literally had to put when you hear me at the end of the battle, I say, hey man, don't nobody beat this dude up. I wasn't actually kidding. Like that was already the rumblings. Is that everybody's like, yo, if he disrespects your daughter, I'm gonna knock him out. If he does this, I'm gonna knock him out. And I was like, that's not what we're here for. Like my friends aren't battle rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't
Mhm.
get it that I showed up to get talked negative to on purpose.
Right.
They just
That's
couldn't imagine it.
yeah. It's
So
like a lot of guys take that stuff way too serious. You know what I mean? And of course, that's when we see stuff happening like Twitter beef and IG beef, and all of a sudden
or
you got Tentacion getting knocked out on stage, and
So that was actually
that
what I was
kind of
gonna
stuff.
say. That's the funny part about. Well, so we'll skip. So I told you about those battles. I wore a clan hood in the battle. I flew to New Mexico and did a battle in a back parking lot. Where thank goodness I made friends with what looked like the most validated guys there, because I don't think I would have fared as very well. But I was trying to go viral. If you watch my videos, every single one of them, I'm trying to do something where I get punched or a fight breaks out. That's another reason why I stopped doing it. The Hank Diggs battle, I love Hank now, and as a person, Hank just got home. If Hank's watching this, the boy's back home, and this time he's staying home. No more trips to camp, Hank. Your children need you, and we love you. But I actually respected Hank, but Hank heckled me during one of my battles. So that so now we have a storyline, just like in wrestling, it's kayfabe, But it for like that long, it wasn't kayfabe because Hank started saying, "Yo, you're lucky I didn't beat you up for wearing the clan hood." Now you know me, all right? I'm guys, you guys don't know me. I'm 5'6", maybe 160 pounds, but this 160 pounds does work. Hank's like
Yeah.
6'2", 6'3", three something. And again, I can say this because Hank and I are cool, but him telling me he was going to try and beat me up or was going to beat me up meant nothing to me at all, other than, well, what's up then? Like, where's it at? What's up with it?
Right.
But I didn't want to fight Hank. You know what I mean? Like, I got no issue with this guy. And I was like, man, this guy's missing the point as to why I wore the clan hood. It went with my third round. So anyway, Hank and I battled, and I actually doing research. I'm looking on his page. I'm checking him out, and I actually could not develop a distaste for him. I genuinely couldn't get like, I don't like this guy. I just couldn't do it, right?
Mhm.
So I took this. I'm not going to break the angle down because I don't even feel like saying it, but I took it a complete. If you watch the battle, there's an angle I took which was completely inappropriate, completely out of pocket, and was totally false. Actually, just to dispel it, I accused him of molesting his own child.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. But
Damn,
at the
bro.
same time, I was willing to fist fight if he mentioned my handicapped daughter. So what sense does that make? That's
Right.
why I don't battle anymore, because I can't walk around thinking about some. Look, I'm not. If I was gay, that'd be one thing, but I'm not. So I can't walk around thinking about a man for 6 weeks straight. You feel me? Like
I feel you. I feel
waking
you.
up like,
So
man,
there's
I don't
actually
like this dude. I don't like this dude. I need to add these bars and edit this stuff. So anyway, the funny thing about that, so Hank and I said horrible stuff, and he didn't bring my daughter up. So in my heart, I lost that battle because I took a poor approach. I did poor sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? Now, ironically, right after the battle, I went up to Hank and I was like, bro, I can't believe you didn't slap me or something. Like, I would have slapped me. Like, I respect you even more. And he was like, bro, he's like, I can't believe you said that. He's like, you're a psychopath. Like, I couldn't believe. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And then we bought each other a drink. I think I bought a shot and then he bought me a beer. But we're on camera immediately afterward. On Facebook, Instagram, like taking pictures together, and the picture got posted on both of our pages. So
Mhm.
I actually I gained a friend through
Yeah.
saying some ridiculous stuff. But right after that battle, though, like, back to your point of people not knowing how to take it, I won't name any names because I don't want to re-escalate anything. Everyone that was there, you know who I'm talking about. There was a 2-on-2 battle that was supposed to happen right after our battle, and I shouldn't laugh because I'm pretty sure somebody got hurt really bad. But before the battle even started, the opposing team said something like, F these guys. Well, those guys' friends, their whole collective doesn't rap, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So when you diss the rappers, the non-rappers go, oh, you're talking about me and all the people that put in pain and lost their life and are doing time for what we represent.
Right.
Right? Which I don't, and I don't think that guy understood how that was going to go. And before you know it, you needed Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse to break this up. It was bad.
Wow.
They were trouncing. They were trouncing dude.
I ain't even lie to you, not to side rail your story. You straight smooth, just reach back and didn't even blink, just got that window, just like, oops.
Because they're shooting. They're out there shooting. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want that. I can hear it. So I didn't. We just so everybody can quickly see. I think the sun's way too bright, but this is where I be, man. We out. Walk out back and
That's
just
nice
bust my
out there,
shotgun.
bro.
Yeah,
That's
I can
nice
walk out back and bust my shotgun. Like that's how we're living.
So,
I'm not a. So with that being said, no, okay. So with that being said, this whole thing is going down. The statute is passed, and I don't really care. I may or may not have had a piece of machinery on me that I probably wasn't supposed to have on me. So my first thought is everybody does.
Right.
So
right.
a lot of these guys represent things that I'm a civilian, but I have respect from that. I'm not affiliated. I'm a total civilian, but I have respect from the validated members that were there. So I knew I was straight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to sound aggressive, I'm always good. I'm not worried about that. But I knew that those guys, I was good with those guys because it was the same ones where I wore the Klan hood and everything. But yeah, so then the big melee broke out. The league kind of dissipated, and that was that. I had no interest in doing like joining another league or doing anything else because again, I don't. But I think you remember I did the fake quarantine battle league when quarantine first started.
Right, I saw that.
And all of that was an exercise. I was bored. I wanted to write, and I wanted to see who would actually reply back. And I think I did like 45 rounds, like attacks, like and I would just drop one, and then tag the person and see what happens. And I actually had people hitting me up thinking it was a real league. A couple weeks later, other leagues started doing quarantine battles in the same style that I did. So RB, Smack, y'all can all. I need my 5%. You can hit my PayPal. Like I'm gonna need my money.
And that's where I get the legendary from because you have this thing like in New Mexico. That was the one that really stood out to me. It's like, how in the hell does my homie go down there where he knows nobody?
Nobody. I knew one person.
You know what I'm saying?
One person. And he was very, very unliked. And I didn't realize how unliked he was there. He was there until there's a part of one of my rounds where I say, anyone has a problem with him, you can fight me.
Wow. And then everybody was like, and then everybody collectively was like, say word.
Yeah. That's why if you notice the battle, the first thing I did before when they said, Empuls come over, I crushed like 45 to 50 straight push-ups and did about 7 or 8 burpees and then took my shirt off. And so I wanted them to know, like, if this is not going to fare well for anybody. And I wanted you to see, I'm out here by myself. The only weapon I brought was me. I'm with the guy nobody likes, but I'm still going home when my flight says I'm supposed to. Like that's again, I don't even like having that whole approach. Like I'm a father. I'm chilling. It's a beautiful Saturday. I don't like flying 2,000 miles to be like, touch me, see what happens.
Right. And the fact that you went down there knowing nobody but one person.
Right.
And at first, the first round, it was like, By the time y'all got to the final round, folks was like
trying to fight.
Folks was like, fam, fam is real. That's
All right, so you know what?
you understand what I'm saying?
No,
I don't know.
I'm
I
gonna get
don't
more
know about.
comfortable here. For any battle
Yeah,
rapper, for any rapper out there, I'll give you. I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you the strategy I did. You can utilize this because again, I thought it was gonna go viral. That was my whole goal the whole time. So I joined their Facebook group. I made friends with everybody. I started screenshotting stuff. I started seeing who was popular, who got the most response. I collected some intel, right? I mean, as you know, I had to do my due diligence, collect my intel. I had to know who my actual target was. I can't shoot the first person I see.
okay, Jason Bourne, I feel you.
I mean, because look, man, for a private first class, it's not in an awards scenario. That's not a trophy. You ain't got enough. You ain't got enough pieces. I need something like this thick. I want to wear that. That's a medallion now. You know what I mean? That's how I felt at that time. I wanted to go down and knock the head off of the biggest dude, or at least get his attention to guarantee they brought me back.
Right. I
Um,
feel
you
you
know,
there.
so I literally collected intel on everybody. I had all these screenshots, and I'm private messaging some of these guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of them still want to fight me, which is fine with me. I'll never be down there, but if I am, I mean, y'all remember what I look like, so I guess we can go from there. But shout out to the 505. I have nothing but love for Albuquerque. That was the people that I dealt with treated me well, even though the way I carried myself. So what I
Well, I had
did
a
was
question for you. Let me pause. Put you on pause for 1 second.
yeah.
I have never, all of my experience with New Mexico up until this time last year was a cartoon rabbit talking about how he should have made a left turn when he got there. If you feel me,
Yo, yeah.
I had never been through there, but we went to visit some friends that live out in Arizona. The wife and I packed up and packed the car and drove out there.
Shout out to the
Man,
wife.
is there anything in Albuquerque outside of maybe White Sands Missile Ranch and a
All right,
couple of
so
gas stations coming through there? Because I didn't see. I mean, it was beautiful country. Like
yeah.
riding through New Mexico and seeing the neighborhoods that were built in the foothills of the mountains and as they up into the mountains, gorgeous. But there was nothing out there.
So
Nothing.
that was what it looked like. So when I flew in, when you fly in, you actually come in and then like kind of you kind of loop into. Cause I feel like it's like in the middle of like a hollow. It's crazy. The topography was interesting, but I remember flying in and seeing what you're talking about, like seeing those houses and things, and wanting to go up there. But when I got
Mm-hmm.
off the plane, where I went and stayed, I was in the barrio section, like I was in the hood. To where the guy I was staying with, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and he was like, "Hey man, change your shirt." Like that because I had a big ass blue shirt on, and
Got
he was
you.
like, "Yeah." He's like, "Change your
Oh.
shirt." Yeah, he's like, "Change your shirt." And I was like, all I have is like, I don't have neutral colors. So I took my shirt off. And he's like, all right, put a shirt back on because the tattoos I have. He was like, that one, 'cause I have a tattoo that looks like the M, which I did not know. It resembles the M from La M.
Oh wow.
And I am not La M. And you are not allowed to do that.
Bruh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like you see me right now. I'm decked out. I'm a huge fan. My favorite team from my home state, University of Georgia, rep them all day. There's
yeah,
certain places that I go, like out of Cali. There's certain sections of Cali where I can't wear this. I forgot what the university is. Their colors, their school colors are blue and red or something like that,
yeah.
and they can't wear any school paraphernalia off campus because the action is so hot out that way.
Well, and the reason my friend was we had never met. This is another thing. I won't put him out there. Again, if you watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. This is also a good ploy to get you to watch the battle. It's Impulse versus Shadow. Shout out to UBR, which is the ultimate battle, universal battle realm. But yeah, so I told him what my plan was. So my plan was the first round I was going to talk about Shadow because he had never battled before and didn't even have any published music. Like there was nothing on this guy. I was the A side on this battle, right? So
Okay.
my thought was do one round against this kid. I keep forgetting where my camera's at. There we go. Do one round on this kid, and the next two rounds I'm just going to insult everybody else
Oh,
that's
damn.
physically there. So, but I didn't know I had to check affiliations. I had to check, right? Because I can't go F so and like have this whole round against him, and then I look over and he's in a sea of red or something.
Right.
That's not conducive to getting home to my kids. And again, I'm not soft, but
So
I'm
wait a
also not
minute.
stupid.
So wait a minute. It really goes that deep with battle rap. Like you have to you really
You
have to
gotta be
do your
careful.
research.
You have to be very, very careful because, like, for example, there's certain like I'm not going to get in trouble for saying this because again I'm not affiliated but there's a couple of rappers that are very, very openly affiliated with, like, certain Pyru sets or Crip sets, right?
Uh huh.
And what they'll like rappers will like throw their gang sign up and then turn it upside down.
Mm mm
Exactly. and
mm
and these are, mind you, and this is the problem with appearances, because I'm a civilian, but most civilians don't even know to say that.
And for
Like
those
they're
of
just
you
like
that are
they just say I'm not in a gang. No, no, no.
for
I'm a
those of you that are
civilian.
yeah for
You know,
those
my
of you
my
that are
film.
watching for
Yeah,
those of you that are watching this right now not following, it's the ultimate sign of
yeah.
disrespect
Oh, it's a
to
sign.
throw
It's a sign of war.
right
I just like, and I'm not. We're gonna do an imaginary. All right, so this is the Proud Boy symbol, right?
right
If I turn, which actually it's also a gang sign depending upon where you are.
right
If I turn this upside down and spit through this hole, I've
right
just announced you can all go. And anytime you see me, do what you feel you need to do. That's what I said. So when these guys will, in order to win a rap battle, which lasts like 9 minutes, in order to win a rap battle, I've seen people take people's gang signs, turn them upside down, spit on them. I actually did it. And I think I did it in a battle that's not televised because had no respect for that guy. And at
mm,
that time, where my mind was, I was demanding. This is about 2009 or so when I met you. So
yeah
that
somewhere
me,
in there
yeah. So that, and not when I met you, but when I officially met you, I knew who you were before then.
mm.
And we'd interacted, I do believe, on the internet because I'm still learning the internet. But about that time, I remember thinking, I dare them to do something. If they think they're about it, I'm about more than they are, and I'm not even with all that stuff. So I dare all 20 of them to do one thing. What I've got in this trunk, like that's how I felt at that time, that particular
Yeah.
time. I'm not saying that now. I'm cool with a bunch of those guys now too, because we all grow. But so I knew that by and disrespecting certain guys will be like, yo, I'm from this area,
And
and
you got to pay
they'll
attention
rep
to
their
that
area,
too,
and then
because
people will be
whatever's
like,
in that
yo,
area.
and they'll say like if you go to California and you're like, yo, F Crenshaw,
Nope.
no, you start bad mouthing Pacoima and like places like that, like somebody should have told you, like somebody really like pump your brake. Like there's places where if you claim to be tough, that whole checking in thing, people don't realize like that's legitimate. The guys that out there are profiting off saying that they're tough, you have to, when you go to town, you have to check in with the other tough guys.
Right.
If
I
you
forgot
don't
what it
check,
was. I forgot who it
no
was. It's
fly zone.
somebody's. Yeah.
Trick is the most notorious one. Trick out in Detroit. And I'm not putting his business out there, but it's legit. Like if you think you're a gangster and you go to Detroit, you probably have to check in with him. If you don't check in
Right.
with him, you're going to get robbed. And I'm okay with that. And I'll tell you why. Because if I build a scene, I'm from Leesburg, Loudoun County. If I build a scene out here and you come out here and you profit off my work, then I need to eat. If
hmm
I don't eat, nobody eats.
And that's wow. I
Like I'm
didn't.
not.
I really didn't. I really didn't know that it went that deep in
Yeah.
in battle rap. I knew about
Now,
like
now that's only
quite possibly the most famous example that I could give you, and everybody talks about it all the time. Is Snoop. Like Snoop repped.
yeah,
Oh Lord, yeah. Snoop repped,
right,
and that was the thing. But when you went to Cali, you had to check in.
yeah.
Or if you were coming from Cali going to New York,
Now,
you had to
now
check
mind
in,
you, I was gonna
especially
say
when the East Coast, West Coast was really big.
mind you, when Snoop would go to certain places, Snoop was checking in.
Right. And even though Snoop, those of us to the untrained eye look at Snoop as like the biggest G on the face of the planet. It's like, no, you just let people know. Look, I'm
There's
I'm
there's
coming
an
through.
11-year-old kid. There's an 11-year-old kid from his former neighborhood that would pop his head on Facebook Live right now. Like that's what people don't realize. Also, like I'm almost 40. I'm from the fade generation. Like we could fist fight. We could be on the same football team playing backyard football, fist fight, and then still finish. I might knock you out, wake you up, and throw you a pass later. Like that's the
Right.
generation I'm from. Hammers and all that didn't come into play. We didn't become carpenters until I was in my
I
20s.
like that
You know what I mean?
terminology.
Yeah,
I
yeah, we'll
like
do
that
that because
terminology.
again, hey, again, with age, I realize marketing
Right.
and accessibility.
Right.
I want to make this more inclusive for folks. So a lot of these battle rappers, and I won't name any names. I easily could, but a lot of these guys are not tough, and not that being tough matters, but that's what they project.
Right.
Like remember Boss, the rapper Boss. I'm the biggest female gangster rapper at that time. Come to find out, she didn't even own a gun, had never committed a crime, but she sold it like that. Now the media got wind of it because if I'm not mistaken, she got pressed by real people. She could have continued to go forever. Now we've now reached the era though where you can openly be fake and fraudulent and Takashi 6ix9ine it, and there's a whole generation of kids that have no respect and no morals, and you can still get famous. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen in
but
battle rap because it's not corporate yet. So if you if you run around with a red flag, we'll just say all day,
I felt like
and then you go to a place to where they don't wear red flags, you can't just say, "Oh, well, dude, it's my image." Like it's just an image. Like let me walk through this street. Let me go to the ATM. I'm gonna go to your bodega. I'm gonna flirt with your women. Because I think about it, when you come to town, it's just like any. My mind's kind of primitive, and it's like if you're the Greeks visiting another place. So you're cool here because we said you're cool. You haven't done anything we don't like. Why are you
so
talking to our women though? Like we know what you
it
want to do when you're talking to the women. Why are you looking at our kids? Why are you looking at how we grow things? Like
so it is almost literally a mafia style deal.
yeah,
Like
you gotta
when
check.
the
You gotta check in if you're claiming to be about something. Like I didn't have to check in because I don't claim anything.
right.
I can go wherever I want because I'm not saying I'm anything. Like if I was claiming to be something, I'd have to stand on that. And so with that New Mexico thing, like I said, I'm doing my research. I'm seeing what's going on. I made sure none of the guys. One of the guys that I made fun of apparently was down with something, but I won't name him because I don't want to insult his people if he really was down. But I didn't care, and I didn't think he was with it, and that's the most important part. I didn't think he was with it, so I
Mm.
didn't care, and I wanted him to test me because of some of the information I learned about him I didn't like. So I was prepared to get poked or something. You might get a couple stitches or get a rib broke or something. I might get stabbed. Who knows? Wouldn't be the first time. And I was like, as long as I don't get shot, we're good. Like that's how I felt at that time. And I had a knife on me, so I was like, if we get to sticking or poking, then my granddad used to knife fight for money, so like blades aren't that's not a big thing. But I was like, as
Really,
long as no one
that is an interesting piece of information that I did not know. I just learned that today. I'm gonna start
yeah,
a segment. I'm gonna start a segment on each of my guests every week called "Mr. Fingers Learns Something."
yeah,
Today I
yeah.
learned that.
My granddad grew up on a dirt road in a place called Turnbull. He was born in 1921, and it's not like he bought a house doing it. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, when you know, the 1930s, 19 like early, late mid to late 1930s and all that. It's like, oh, I have a problem with you, and we're gonna sort it. So I'm gonna whip a blade out. If you whip your blade out, then we're arguing. If I whip my blade out and you're quiet, then I won. We can go to first blood. We can go to you're incapacitated, or like, are we gonna kill each other? I mean, it's
This
your
is,
call.
whew. Man,
I look
look.
when I leave the house right now. When I leave my house right now, the way I was raised, um, like I'm not gonna flash again. I'm not gonna flash anything because this isn't my platform, and I'm not gonna do that to your platform. But like even sitting here right now, comfortably relaxed, I guarantee you, I have up to 16 things on me you don't want touching you. because they're
Wow.
not gonna
You,
they're
you know
not
what?
through and throughs. I don't play with target load. They're not
That
going
doesn't.
through
You know
you.
what? That doesn't surprise me though, because I live. You forget where I live, right?
Right,
I'm in
right.
Oklahoma. I have a neighbor, and there's a neighbor that lives down the street. He's a retired Marine,
Yep.
great guy. Um, he's a great guy, but when I see him in the street, we talk. We meet in the middle of the street. You know, COVID and all, social
Yeah,
distancing
yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot. He's got one on his hip,
yeah.
openly, and I guarantee you, he's holding at least 2 or 3 more somewhere. Like he's never tucked in, like shirt and
Yeah.
tie business type deal. He's retired. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. It's always a shirt tucked up, but I guarantee you he's carrying a couple more on it. So that doesn't surprise me. That part doesn't surprise me. Listen here, man.
At this point in my life, I only take them where I'm allowed to, though. Like I will put that out there.
Well,
I don't go
gotcha.
to the post office. I'm not in the courthouse like that. You know what I
I
mean?
got you.
But like I said, so I went down there like not sure what would happen, kind of feeling everything out, and but again, knowing about having to check in, knowing now with New Mexico, I also knew that the Black Hand and like the Lyme and like the new Lyme, which I'm not even gonna discuss their politics because I like living. If you're interested in learning about that stuff, then there's all types of documentaries, and you will learn why I'm running from this topic. Those are the only people I was worried about offending.
Mhm.
Spanish, my Spanish brethren, my Paisa folk and all them, they run that.
Okay.
I was a supreme guest of the other guests. So as long as I didn't offend my other people of the sun, my Azteca and Mayan derivatives, I was good, right? But
Mhm.
I'm down to diss everybody else. So
Oh,
all
true.
black people, all white people, you're open game. That's how I felt. So what I did was that verse, which I've never said this in public before. That verse, actually, the first verse wasn't for him. That's why it went the way it did. I had a song where I said the name Shadow or the word Shadow in the verse. I never
Wow.
even wrote for that kid. I decided to do that on the plane.
Uh-oh. So wait
Yeah,
a
I had.
minute. And and again, this is what I'm talking about. Like you are that guy that will, and we've just been talking, mind you now, we're 30 minutes into the interview and we just been talking battle rap. This is the level of dedication and
Well, it's all connected too. You know what
research.
I mean? There's the
Right.
fluidity of like and connectivity of the whole thing. It's like, all right, to even just get to that part of the battle is like the average person watching this, if you're not into battle rap, if you've never been involved in any street stuff, don't have any friends involved in any street stuff, when I say I'm a civilian, you probably think I actually mean military,
Yeah,
as a like
military or law enforcement or
law
whatever. Right.
enforcement compared to civilians. I'm talking about street soldiers is what I'm talking about dealing with. I'm a civilian all the way around, but
For the record, anybody watching, I'm a civilian too. Just making it known. Just since now that
yeah,
I've learned the terminology,
yeah, no, we are like I'm
I am
civi.
John
Yeah,
Q. Public. So
and
real quickly,
the only distinction I put out there is I might be a civvy, but I'm not the one though.
I hear you. I hear you
Like
there. This is
I'm
where
not.
I'm gonna This is where I'm gonna jump in real quick. For those of you that are watching, that are just joining, if you've been watching a minute, welcome to this week's edition, season 2, episode 8, Indie and Unsigned. My esteemed guest today, Mr. Derek Impulse. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna stop there. I don't know how you feel about your whole government issue, so I'm
You
gonna
know,
leave.
no. Like I said, at this point, man, I'm good with that. Like I got pictures of my kids on my page and stuff.
I
Like
got you.
my government is out there, and like I said, just for full disclosure, I'm good with all that. And I actually prefer that people know I have a real name too, because there's so many people that only know me as Impulse, and I'm some
True.
character. I'm some character to them, you know.
True. Because
So
when I met you back in the day, it was easily a year or two before. I think it was when we linked up on social media, and I think it was MySpace right before everybody jumped ship for
to
Facebook. And
face, yeah, yeah.
I was like, yo, Derek, oh, for real? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, because I didn't know your real name, and hell, I don't think you knew mine either. So
I
you
didn't,
was Paul,
but
you
but
was
I
Impulse, and I was
yo,
famous, and that was it.
but I had known of you since like '06 or '07 or '08, like but from the karaoke circuit.
Right, and that was
Like
my thing. which is
So
what
I
we.
had met, and I won't name any. There's gonna be a lot of like I'm not naming names things. I don't. That's not my thing. I'll tell you privately because it's fun. But I remember meeting someone that wanted to hang out with me at one of your, and they were like, I was like, what are we doing tonight? They're like, we're doing karaoke. Now, as an actual performer, right? I was like, I don't do no karaoke. But
Oh
that
yeah,
person wanted to go, and I was like, I've never actually been. I don't have an issue with karaoke. I was like, I've never actually seen this before. And I remember going and being like, yo, who's that black dude? And they're like, oh, that's Mr. Fingers. I was like, they're like, he does. I was like, wait, he does this every day and all. Like, I was like, damn, that's
that was
pretty
my.
swift. You know what I
That
mean?
was my. That was.
I was like, that's slick. I was like, this man just goes from place to place where people are having fun and want to have a good time and just accentuates that.
That was my full time, man.
I was like, this is amazing. So it's interesting that we both knew of the other, and we're like
Which we will have.
looking,
Which we will
and
have to discuss offline now because my curiosity is piqued. But it was it at the same spot where I checked where I peeped you with the band, or was it someplace
no,
else?
this was oh man, I want to say it was some. I don't even say it if I could think of it. I want to say it was a green turtle or something, but it was like one of those kind of spots where I don't. It was like a big deal that you were there. It's like usually you were in bigger places. I want to say it was like a bunkers or something like that. It was something either in Leesburg or near Leesburg, and they were like, yeah, usually we have to go out to this place to see him. Again, like I was.
Oh, I think it was at Mahalo Cove, maybe.
There you go, because we performed at Mahalo Cove after that, and I'd never been there. It was somewhere I'd never been, but I've been there numerous times since then.
Right, and
But
Mahalo Cove was something that was something that just started on a whim. A lady I knew threw my name in the hat because they were talking about doing karaoke. So I went out there, and it took about 2 years to build, maybe 3. But by 2000, we call 2009. Those are my folks that I still rock with. We call 2009 the greatest karaoke summer ever because I was working 6 gigs. I was working 7 nights a week, and from Monday through Saturday, the Sunday gig was kind of in because it was Sunday. But Monday
right,
through Saturday, I had at least 40% of my crew come to all of those. I don't even know how anybody had savings accounts, 401ks, all the money they spent coming. Because Mondays I was in Herndon. Tuesdays I was at Mahalo. Wednesdays I was in Centerville. Thursdays I was at Sully's, I think. No. Was
because
that at Sully's? Yeah.
you
Thursdays
were
I
at
was at
Sully's
Sully's.
because Tuesdays we were at Sully's.
And then Friday and Saturday, I was at this spot in Manassas. I don't even know if it's still open or not. America's over on America's, whatever it is. It's down on I can't remember the name of the street. Right
It's
across
not the one near the mall, is it?
Nah, it's right next to the double 7-Elevens by the U-Haul off of 234. I can't think of the
Okay,
name of the
yeah,
street.
I think the building obviously is still there. I don't think that's still what it was though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it used to be. The funny thing is, America's was one of my Friday night show was one of my hottest shows. And for frame of reference, the Americas used to be a Dairy Queen or something like that. It literally
Right.
was a small little cafe, and we would have people packed on top of each other in there on a Friday night rocking.
Like I said, man,
But yeah,
I had people from Leesburg had me drive to Mahalo Cove to hang out because that's where you were, and I was like, what? I was like I said, it was
but that
one,
was,
and I can admit it.
and
I
but
was
that was,
like,
but
and
that
then
was
I got
that
there.
was that was my thing because I had been to karaoke before, and it had always been like the first karaoke shows I experienced. Now I started into my now you're interviewing me.
No,
The
come on.
first karaoke shows I had experienced were, the hosts made it larger than life. It wasn't just my very first experience was a guy with a box. He would just call names. You go on stage and sing, and then walk off, and they go, "Great job," and that was about it. But it got to a point where I started taking and implementing things. I love stand-up comedy. Huge fan. I love movies. Anything
Right.
that I could think of to get people rocking. I had dance breaks. Like there was a thing on Friday night where just out of nowhere, I would just pop off Frankie Beverly Before I Let Go. Everybody
Oh yeah.
loses like the family. You know what I mean? Like
So
those kind of things. And so
so I don't
Mahalo
have the
Code.
best. I say I don't have the best memory, but what I remember is you were and I've seen this since. You were one of the few cats I've seen that would, instead of just like a lot of karaoke cats. I shouldn't say karaoke cats because that might people might think there's not women that do it too or other non-fluid whatevers. But we'll say
I'm not even
people
gonna touch that.
Yeah, like I said, out of the people I've seen that do karaoke, there were the ones that I think were doing it for themselves more, because like when nobody would sing, they would just keep singing, and I was like, no, that's a deterrent actually. How about play a song
Mm.
we all like? And I want to say you played September that night, and me being like, yo, like, is he playing Earth, Wind and Fire right now? But you played something, and I was just like, oh, this dude's cool. And then
Yeah,
it had
because it
nothing.
was.
It had nothing to do to me. It had nothing to do with the karaoke, quote unquote, because I was like, oh, I'm sold on him. I like this guy, and that's like I
Yeah,
was like, I like this guy's approach. I do remember you telling some jokes, and I do remember I remember it was like it was an event, like I
yeah.
said,
Because
everyone.
I wanted people to come out. It wasn't just going to be where you're in the bar and you're listening to a bunch. Because karaoke. Everybody that comes to karaoke is not the greatest singer, but they want to sing and they
Right.
have fun. So, but I wanted to give people some stuff to chew on and think about when they would call, like call and response. Like we had like Mahalo Cove was Booze Day Tuesday, so I'd be like Booze Day, and the whole crowd would yell back Tuesday, that kind of just stuff to get people involved in the scene. Now we're gonna get back. This is supposed to be your interview, sir.
Oh, all
This is
right. So
supposed to be
then, you
your
know what?
interview,
No,
sir.
let me finish. I'll finish the New Mexico story super quick, because I think I'm old man. I might need to take a break to go drink my Geritol or whatever. But so so I think I was if these artists kept track. That's another thing. This is why this is episode 8, because it's infinite. It's all going to connect. All right, don't worry.
Okay.
Um, so I just made that up too because I freestyle. But yeah, so what I did on so I got on the plane, and literally on the flight there, it's to get to I flew from BWI. You go from BWI. Make sure I can see my fingers. BWI, then DWF, then DWF to Albuquerque. So you have this brief layover. It's like 7 hours in the total. That's when I wrote all 3 rounds. The flight there. The battle was
Oh,
the next day. So I
oh
knew
snap.
I had like 24 hours to memorize everything. So what I started drinking as soon as I got on the plane. And the stewardess, I'll say this because I don't think my lady will be mad. This was 7 years ago. The stewardess was feeling your boy. It's 8 years ago. The stewardess was this 2013. The stewardess was feeling your boy heavy, and I bought her rum and coke. She gave me 2 bottles of rum. This is the teeny little airplane bottles. So I
Mm.
pounded one, drank half the coke, poured the other one in it, finished that. And I was like, all right. At the time, I was drinking a lot, so I was like, this won't do much. She walked back by, and then I look on the ground, and a bottle had fallen down. And I was like, hey, ma'am, you dropped this. And I held it up. She goes, didn't you already pay for that? And I was like, all right, then. And so for the 5 hour flight, I basically just drank and wrote the rudest things down that I could about everybody there. So I wrote 8 to 12 bars about 10 different people, and then and committed it all to memory, and then realized I didn't have anything. I'm sitting there in between on the layover, and I'm realizing I don't have any bars for the guy I'm battling. So I
Damn.
was like, yeah. So it just so happened I was working on a song. I just committed the verse to memory as I'm trying to block this song out. So the way I get stuff out is to write it all down. So as I'm writing down the verse, I saw the word Shadow was in there. His name was Shadow. I was like, I'm gonna edit this on the spot and make it about him. All I have to do is like stop here and there, and it looks like a battle verse. Because I'm gonna break it down a little secret too. Battle rapping is the easiest thing in the world to do because you don't actually have to know how to rap at all. There's no beat to keep track of anymore. Acapella battle rap is literally a fool's playground now, which is another reason why I don't like to do it because it's sullied. You know what I mean? It's really sullied. To me, it's like scavenging at the bar. It's like showing up after last call, stone sober, and taking home the drunkest woman. It's kind of pathetic. But
Right at 1:15.
yeah,
Oh, girl, you need
1:15, you
another.
pull up and you're like,
You,
"Hey, ladies," bright eyed and
you,
stuff, and they're like,
you need another drink?
yeah." So like you're that guy. If some battle rappers are that guy, then there's other guys like battle rappers like me that actually rap and make music and care about the art form. And but again, I had the verse in my head. So if you watch on the spot, There's like certain pauses. Like I mushed him at one point. I smacked his hat. Like I got super, super physical with him because the verse had nothing to do with him. So and then I punched my fist a bunch of times. Like I'm doing all this stuff to like accentuate the actions and connect them to him. But it actually had nothing to do with him. And I knew that I saw him. So a lot of people don't know is these battle rap events, they're not like boxing events or football games. Like you go watch a basketball game, these guys passed each other during the day briefly, and they only spoke if they're friends, but they're not in the same space. A battle rap event, you might be sitting in the same table that the guy you're going to battle later for 2 hours. So Be careful what you do around the people that you're going to get into it with. Don't show me a weakness. This kid came up to me the first thing, and Shadow's cool. I can't remember his real name, but shout out to him. Bless his daughter. He's got a family now. Bless his family. If he ends up seeing this, but he came up to me and I never told him this. He walks up to me and he goes, "Just so you know, I'm going in on you." And I jokingly said, "Pause, bro." No, he goes, "Don't choke when I go in on you." And I said, "That was really wild to say."
Phrasing is everything, bro.
And then he goes, "I be rapping fast like Eminem." So if you listen, the first thing I did was a rebuttal. He does all this fast rap and he choked. And I talked about how he would choke less if he took a dick out of his mouth. I didn't mean to curse, but I was doing so good. I went 40 minutes. But anyway, so so I had a rebuttal set up. I was playing the verse in my head, but right back to the whole validated tough guy thing. I'm practicing my lines over behind this lowrider, and all of these people roll up on me, and they're like, "What's up, man?" Now, mind you, I'm in battle mode. I hop up and turn around and go, "What do you mean, what's up?" And I see this guy I don't read Spanish. I don't speak it. But he had something in Spanish across his entire brow. And then his head was bald and it was flames and all types of stuff. Like, and I was just like, I just picked the worst person to get touched. Because not only does he look like he's not a little guy either. And he looks like whatever comes from this, he's prepared and doesn't care. Like he left the house not thinking he's coming home today. You know what I mean? And he had like 16 people with him. He was actually so impressed with the fact that I stepped to him that he shook my hand and kind of half hugged me and was like, "Yo, this is our hermano now. Like this guy's cool." And he's like, and I was like, "Okay." And I'm sure I looked just like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm here to battle this dude." He's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Virginia." One of them's like, "Where's Virginia?" And I was like, "I'm on the East Coast." And they were like, "You flew and like they looked it up on the phone. They're like, "Bro, you flew 2,000 miles by yourself to insult somebody? Yo, that's pretty tight." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Actually, I'm a fight." I told him, "Actually," "Is there anybody here you're friends with?" And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because I got rounds for everybody. I just need to know whose name to wipe off the bullets." I was like, "I won't shoot your friends because I like y'all too." I mean, they puffed with me and everything. And I was just like, they were like, "Yeah, we're not cool with none of these dudes."
Uh-oh.
And I said, like, "You're not cool with them or you're uncool with them." And again, I won't name any names, but they're like, "Yo, there's a couple that we don't like." And I said, "I'm definitely going to make fun of them because now I'm good." I actually, so this is another secret. Nobody knew this. Is another secret. I was alone on camera, but I wasn't by myself. I
figured. Yeah, I figured, dude. Look, you are one of
the dudes had a burner for me. Like he literally showed me on his hip. I had 2 burners, and he asked me which one I wanted as things cracked off.
I've lived on this earth for quite some time. There's only about maybe 10 people in my lifetime that I know that will go down swinging. Doesn't matter if it's 5 or 500. And you are one of those people. So
live on your feet or die on your feet, live on your knees. It's up to you.
ZFG all day.
Yeah, right. So I've got backing now. I know that I can make fun of whoever I want. And then when they cut the camera on, if you watch it again, I keep going. If you watch it, you've watched it, and now maybe this will give you some nuances. but you see a small group of people meander off camera immediately. A couple of them can't be on camera. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm talking about? But they were literally right there. And as the crowd dissipates, you can actually see a couple of them peppered through, because there's times where people get mad at me and start talking about me, and then turn around and see those guys, and then rather than encroach on me or do anything, they just left.
Damn.
Yeah, so no,
It's
like
good to be. Hey, Mel Brooks said it's good to be the king.
and again, the what was working in my favor was no one knew what I was going to do until I did it. Everybody was there. If you watch, they're all supporting me. They're all like, "Yo, show the out of town guys some yay, yay!" And then I open my shirt and I've got a pipe bomb, and they're just like, "Oh my god, what did we do? What did we?" And then when I left, and this, I will say this, because if you watch the battle, read the comment section, and I stand firm on everything that transpired in that comment section. Now, when I was there, I stayed there for that full day, and the next day, I went out to the club. I went to 3 different clubs trying to meet the guys that were there. One of the guys wanted to fight me, and I kept having my man take me to where he claimed to be. And we're following him on Facebook. He's like, "I'm at this place. Take me there." Like, and then we get there and he's not. He's at this place. Well, does any of his friends here? Let's punk them and leave. Like, that's where I was at. That's the time I was on. And then but everybody was cool. Everybody's being super cool. Everybody's super cordial. I get on the flight. I don't have internet. When I get on the first 2-hour flight, I get to DFW, hop in. I got the internet. Oh, Impulse is all types of BANs, and if he'd have done this, we'd have done this, and he'd have done this. And I'm like, but you didn't. You
Right.
didn't. I was in your city. I had to pay for a plane ticket to come to see you. All you had to do was walk out the house. I flew to your backyard and shit in it, and you did nothing. So yeah, everyone in that comment section, like I said, man, if I ever make it back and I'm ever able to grace your area, keep that same energy. Take the fatigues off on your NBA, your 2K live, and keep that same energy. But back
It's
to
it's like
just telling.
it's like the video. It's like the video of the 2 dogs that are barking at each other through the gate, and then when the gate opens up, and the dogs stop barking,
Yeah,
and then the gate closes back, and they start barking again.
I was just saying. And I went down there, and like I said, I had bars for everyone. And what I started, if you watch the video, I started going, "Hey," I'm like, I'm shouting into the crowd that I can't even see, and I'm like, "Hey, is so and so here?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well then, all right, done with him. Is so and so here?" "Yeah." "Well, is so and so here?" "No." "Well, tell him I said." No, man, like, and then one of the lines I say, I do whatever I want, wherever I want, to whoever I want, with no remorse and no recourse. And I remember writing that line drunk as hell, because
on
that's
the
how I
plane,
felt. That's how I felt. Yeah, everything
with the flirting waitress, flirting.
so all those
the flight
bars,
attendant.
were written on the plane, memorized in less than a day, and but I'd never been that far out west. What I didn't appreciate at that time until after the battle is that the furthest I ever went home from my home out west was for a completely negative entertainment experience.
Mm.
I flew 2,000. I never flown 2,000 miles to go to Grand Canyon, to go visit nobody, to go have fun, to soak in beautiful energy. I flew 2,000 miles to try and fight and insult as many people as I could,
to
and potentially
stir the
attack.
to stir the hornet's nest.
Yeah, so it was like, in hindsight, it was like, I probably could have been a better utilization of my time doing something else, but it ends up being a cool story. And this is actually, all this is exclusive. I've actually never told a lot of the story.
You are getting the exclusive.
Yeah, yeah, like finding out that I actually, like I said, I had people there, finding out that it was literally the plan. I hatched the plan for 5 weeks, but I didn't put everything together until, again, man, like, you can't leave all your mags loaded or the springs get depreciated.
Right.
You feel me?
It's like you talking my language now. I remember that.
Yeah, it's like when are we gonna use these things? Probably not for a couple of weeks. Oh man, put that shit away. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep a couple on the ready, but we'll fill up the other 15 when we're about to leave.
Got you.
You feel me?
Gotcha.
And that's how I felt at
you.
that time. That's how I felt at that time. And again, that's what I learned from my grandpops. It was just like, if you're going to fight, then fight. If you think you need to fight, then fight. but you're not fighting. The goal is to win.
Right.
They like they don't call it winning when you go to the casino. They call it gambling. Right? I'm going to stack the odds. I'm going to count my cards.
Chance.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of taking chances. I'm going to count my cards. I'm going out there with a stacked deck. Everybody thinks we're friends. Everybody thinks I'm trying to be like, and I did. I played myself down to like, oh, I'm so happy to be here, and oh, it's just this lowly little guy, and nobody knew how old I was. Nothing. I was older than them and everything, and they had no idea. And then, like I said, I get out there, and it's like, all of y'all can SMD. Know what you're gonna do. They're like, well, wait, we were just clapping for this guy. His first round, if you watch my first round, you would think that Shadow came from out of town. I look like the guy that lives there.
Truth.
It's not till the second round. It's not till the second round that when I'm literally standing in front of somebody with my hands behind my back. And if you notice, I put my hands behind my back. There's 3 dudes trying to fight me. I walk directly up to them and put my hands behind my back, which, as you know, rules of engagement. I'm daring you. That couldn't be the only more disrespectful thing would have been to turn my back. But I was literally telling you, I'm going to give you whatever time and space and opportunity. I broke the distance and everything. Here we are. Because when I was over here, you had a whole lot of heat. It's real chill when I get over here, though.
Right.
You know, that's how I felt at that particular time. And, but again, you know, this story is super fun, but it was like very, very tense to say the least.
Absolutely, man. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I'm hearing all the details of this story.
Yeah, and literally the only person that knows all these details was my man that was there. Almost no one's heard this whole story because once I got back, my focus was on getting back there. My thought was the fallout is going to work like this. I dissed everybody. So as far as wrestling goes, so it's just like in wrestling. Let's say if I run in, if you know, there's a 8-on-8 or 5-on-5 Survivor Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Goldberg comes out and spears everyone on the other team or beats all of them up. Now you have 10 potential storylines,
right?
Because it's all get back. So my thing is, if I diss everyone in the league, then even the guys that I didn't diss, now they got to beat me up because I dissed the block, right?
Right.
That's how you earn your stripes here. Sign up. You got to be this tall to ride this ride, and your mom and dad got to sign your permission slip, but come through. And then nobody did. Nobody would battle me after that. And this is with me saying I'll fly out there. Like I don't need your money. Like when's the battle? I'm on my way. You know, so, but yeah, it backfired. And in a sense, I end up wasting a bunch of money.
I said I let it say that it backfired, but
yeah, I mean, I ended up wasting some money. We got a cool story to tell you, and the footage is whatever. But again, that's what happens when you write the day before and you're just trying. I wasn't thinking about the opponent at all. I was thinking I'd already beat this guy. That's it. He can't beat me.
Oh, him! I got him. I'm just gonna give everybody else
exactly.
bars.
It's like I'm not even gonna punch the dude that I'm fighting. Like let me go hit his man real quick. His boy bigger than him. Let me make sure he ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
You know, just like pow. Like oh man, you punching me in the back. It's like sit your little butt. It's like put that little stuff away. You know, like from Harlem Nights. It's like put that little stuff away. You know what I mean?
Don't shoot that no more. I have a question for you. Got a question for you. Do you have a little extra time to stay with us today? Because we have done almost a whole hour on New Mexico. I still want to get into.
No, bro. I'm literally I'm good. I actually I'm good, bro. Like I said, I'm enjoying this. My daughter, who I'm not gonna bring her on camera or whatever, just because she's chilling. But yeah, my daughter is
spirit,
over here.
By the way,
she's been playing her piano, just cooling out. I guess we chill on Saturday. Something I've learned to do, learning to do, I should say, in the last little bit. Because so I'm telling you that story. Again, I'm almost 40. This is in my early 30s. The story I'm telling, and this is still the calm down version of me. This is a few years after we met, and again, I'm 2,000 miles away with an illegal burner, 5 feet away from a dude I don't know. I don't know these people. I don't know. I didn't get a single name, but I'm willing to. Oh, you got to oh man, that 45 looks dope. If stuff cracks off, can I have that?
Right.
Like, hey, is that a Glock? That's beautiful. Doesn't have a safety. Load it for me and hold it. That was the mindset I flew out there with. So now it's Saturday. We chilling. You know what I'm saying? 8 years later. Now, mind you, they are shooting in the yard right next door, and I'll probably go bust some rounds off later. But yeah, we can go shoot right out back. Like, and that's so to wrap it up. It's like the rules of engagement. These guys are from an area, and this is the dangerous part. You pretend to be tough, or you think you're tough. Depending upon where you're from, like they're not allowed to do what I can do with weapons. Like it's not the same thing. I grew up with my granddaddy and my uncles and them. We would shoot in my grandfather's yard. I learned to shoot when I was 5. Like I used to have my own shotgun, like when I was a kid. And before I was allowed to have them. I ran a thing called the Assassin Camp. That's where my promotion name comes from. I ran a thing for 4 years called the Assassin Camp, where we taught people how, basically, for lack of better terminology, how to be viscerally dangerous. And that was the whole goal, is that if I can get enough of these people that I've trained, then when whatever cracks off, we're going to win. Whatever it is, against whoever it is, or nobody wins. We all go to the hospital or nobody does.
Right.
We all get buried or nobody does. It's all or nothing. It's the art of war. You know, if any, like a lot of people reference the art of war, but I know the art of the only true victory is what? One where there's no blood drawn on either side. If
Absolutely.
anybody loses a soldier, we all lost. So my thought was, we're going to be ready to go. Hopefully nothing happens. If it does, we're ready. That's it. So that's how I lived my entire life. And then I flew out to another state, and I brought that with me. I brought that comfort zone with me. But in my head, I'm not thinking about, well, how'd these guys come up? Some of these guys have only shot guns in retaliation.
Right.
I teach people how to disassemble and clean their firearms. Like, it's totally different. Like, I may not be comfortable in your environment, but I'm comfortable with what we're doing. Like, I ain't never been on this roof, but I know the tools.
Right.
Like I can. This is a new work site for me, but don't worry, I brought my own tool bag.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening so far. The last hour, this was going to run long today.
Just battle rap.
Me and Empuls. This is just talking battle rap. We have not.
And I haven't got to talk to you though. Yet. Look, in our defense or my defense, because I know I'm long-winded, I also haven't got a chance to talk to you face to face in like
years.
Like at least.
I think the last time I saw you was probably 2-3 years before we moved out here. So at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, man. And I want to say, like, when I saw you, we weren't even expecting to see each other. Like, I don't think either one of us came to, which we did after a while come like purposely to see each other. But I think the last time I saw you, I didn't even expect to see you.
Right. Facts.
I think we both went to support someone else and happened to bump into, like, oh, wow. Oh, look, you're here. You know what I mean?
I can't even remember where the hell it was. Oh, wait a minute. Did you ever go down to Jack's? Not Jack's.
Yeah, we used to perform there all the time.
Yeah, because my wife's youngest son used to play down there. I don't know how into punk pop you are, but that was where he was.
That's what it was. I was on the same bill.
With Lakeview?
I was the only rapper on that show.
With Lakeview?
Yeah.
Get out of here. So you know Eric then.
All right, so I used to get booked to do punk shows because like I would strip and stuff, or I'd fight or whatever. But I used to get stripped. I used to get booked to do hardcore and like punk shows, like because I also So I had a right after the Franchise Players, which is the band that I never even mentioned. I never even named them earlier. I started a band called Brickfist. And I was actually the lead singer in a metal fusion whatever band, which a lot of people just don't even know. I completely forget. Nobody remembers that, or nobody knows about that. But yeah, so I was getting booked to do these shows because everyone said I reminded them of HR from Bad Brains mixed with Henry Rollins.
Mm.
So then I was like, well, then if you don't, so you rap. I remember guys coming up like dressed crazy, be like, yo, you rap? Me being like, yo, what are you doing here? You rap? They're like, no, we came to see you. They're like, we were at Jack's before and you were here, or we heard about you or whatever. It's like, yeah, my band plays here. Like I met a bunch of people like that where it's like, oh dude, we don't even listen to rap. Like literally, we don't listen to rap. But like, dude, whatever you're doing, like, dude,
right.
Dude, it's crazy. And I just, so then I
the
turned
sheer
up.
irony, the actual sheer irony that Jax wound up after Jax wound up being sold. That guy wound up taking over
It's Sully's.
Sully's after that.
Yeah.
So and then
And it was still the same races. Always been the same races. And Jay Nedry, if you're watching this, you can SMD straight up. SMD. Your whole family can.
I
Like,
did not
sorry
know
to
it
do
was
that.
like that.
No, that dude's a racist scumbag, bro. That was my issue with Sully's. Like, that was my issue with Sully's. That's why I would never go back there once he was associated. Jay, I remember people. I won't name any names, but I remember people making Jay didn't want to pay certain artists, and I don't that language doesn't compute with me. He's not gonna pay us. Wait, you let him say that, and you walked away, and now you're telling me like he didn't pay you in teeth? Like, how did you just let that happen? Like, I'm mad at you now. Now I'm gonna walk you back over. I'm gonna dog walk him, and I'm gonna show you what you're supposed to do. And I don't know what he was gonna pay you because that's mine now. Again, I won't name any names, but I used to collect for people. So like, I say somebody owe you 1,200. When I pull up, they owe you 25.
Okay.
And if they've only got 12, they're still paying on the interest. They ain't started touching the principal yet. And I'll be back.
I'm glad to say that was an issue. Nope, I had one place that I had an issue with that. I did have one place that I worked with, and it made me kind of sad because it was a place that I had been affiliated with for a good long while.
And that's when you see there's no friends.
But even then, I was able to go back and say, we met at the table one day, and they're like, "What happened?" It's like, "Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. This is what happened. Yeah. Bing, bang, boom." And I'm, but dude, you should have come to me. And I was like, "Well, I'm here now." And and boom, boom, boom. And it was, it wasn't an issue where I had to necessarily dog walk somebody, but we took care of it. And beef was squashed.
Now, and this is 2006, 2007. I had my first child in 2001, my second in 2003, and she's multi-disabled. So by the time she had an anterior walker, she's nonverbal. She wasn't supposed to live past the age of 5. All these things. So if you met me between 2004 and 2007, that was probably the most volatile human being you've ever met because nothing mattered to me at the heart of it because my child might die and things like that. So when Jay's not going to give me my money, I took time away from my family for this. My wife is mad at me. I didn't get to tuck my kids in. Somebody's going to pay me. And Jay doesn't want to pay me, then whoever owes him money is going to pay me. But we're just going to keep going down this food web until I'm full. That's how I felt at that time. So I remember running upstairs and him telling me I couldn't get into the VIP, and then my shoulder checking the door and then telling him like, you need to fix that lock. And everybody's seen, not everybody, but I'm sure most people have seen Bronx Tale, the infamous now you can't leave. Give me my money. And the worst part it wasn't even my money. I wasn't even getting paid. I was doing this stuff on the humble because I was also, I know herb and all that stuff's legal now, but it wasn't always. So we'll just say I had multiple sources of income, and I was doing it on the strength because I knew I was working up to something. So, But anyway, all my dealings with Jay face to face were fine because I was way aggressive. He knew. I would do whatever I wanted, and then you can call the cops on me. I'm not going to go to jail forever. And like Joe Pesci said, man, when I get out, I'll do it again because I'm stupid. That's what I do for a living. That's how I felt. Again, my daughter had open heart surgery when she was a year old. Up until she was a year old, she had a 4-part heart condition. And if she got too mad, happy, sad, whatever, she would turn blue because her blood would pump faster than it can oxygenate itself, and she would pass out. So you really think that I care about anything that has to do with your life at all? Like not you, but just in general.
That young lady is a walking.
Oh, she's a warrior. She's been stronger than I ever will be before she was born. Like her lowest watermark is higher than anything I could ever do. I don't have the fortitude that she does. Absolutely not. And in case my oldest is watching either, and to be the sister of and support a young lady like that, you have to be even stronger than me too. Both of my children make me look weak. all this tough guy, whatever, all this, I got the burners and blickies and whatever else, is nothing compared to what my children do just to operate and conduct themselves during the day. So my issue is, or my thought process has always been, if you, I'm going to leave the house and I'm going to kiss him, I'm going to come home and I'm going to kiss him. And if you want to impede upon that in any way, then we have business.
Time to cue Ludacris. It's time to cue Ludacris.
I
got
mean,
a family to go. I got a family to go home to.
That's the greatest opening to anything is that second verse on Call Your Bluff. I'm so glad you mentioned that. When like the Ludacris song where he says something about, don't talk about my wife and kids, because if you do, then I have to come to where you live. It's very simple. Very simple. You're not in VA anymore, but you used to be out here. Let me find out somebody disrespected your wife. I'll tell you after I do something about it. I'm gonna be too hyped up until then.
You know what? I had to be honest.
I'll probably go live. You know what? I lied. I'll go live. I'll let you watch.
We have been fortunate. Anybody that had anything to say, and there never was any dudes. Like there never were any dudes, and even dudes that tried it, because it would be the thing. She would be at the show. I'm on stage doing my thing, so she looks like a female by herself. But dudes are trying, and it was so funny. It would be, it would be hilarious. I'd be working the show, and I'd watch the guy scan the room, and he'd walk over, and he'd start talking, and she'd be nice and polite and smile, and she'd just point up at the stage. She'd point up at the stage at me, and then the dude would look and be like, "Oh, you were him." And then it was almost like I got the hat tip as they backed out of the room. You dig?
So unless I'm remembering incorrectly, I met her one time, and actually interacted with her and like actually introduced, like, yo, this is my man Empuls. I'm like, yo, really nice to meet you. And I faintly remember encroaching on a guy because I thought he was about to bother her. But it was just an immediate thought to me. Not that you can't handle your business, but you're at work. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I don't. This bar doesn't know me. They don't owe me money. I got nothing to lose.
Probably was at Sully's though, because when you came to see me at Mahalo, we had.
Yeah, I want to say it was at Sully's. Which again, at Sully's, I was part of the house band, and I was the crazy one. I'm the one. Remember, I'm the one that fought Johnny on stage. Like,
I was not there that night.
So we got into a shoving match. Now, Johnny, I don't know if Johnny's watching this. Johnny, if you're clean and sober, then love, bro. Then big love. Johnny, if you're still on that junk, then I have less respect for you than I did when we were in the band. But if you're clean and sober, then I'm a jerk right now for even referencing that. And I'll just say that to you, Jonathan Stinson. I hope you're doing well. I love your brother and sister. I hope you're doing well. But at this particular time, none of us were doing well. The whole band was a mess. I was homeless. I was a mess. And
I was a full-fledged alcoholic.
Yeah, bro. We were, like I said, man, it was a hot mess. And but Johnny and I got into a little shoving match on stage. And I say a little shoving match because I'm 5'6", Johnny's 6'9". There's only so much
tall?
Yeah.
So I remember him being tall. I don't remember him being that
6'9", man. 6'9".
So the only person in the bar that was taller than him was Bear, because Bear clocks in at 7.
Yeah, and Johnny's got a brother who's 6'11". So yeah.
Karaoke basketball league.
So what happened was, we got into it on stage. And this is the precedent that I guess I had set for myself. We got into, and the picture, actually, I'll tag you in the picture. There's a picture on Facebook of, I had to remember outside of Sully's, there's the little like partitions, and they had like the little bit of masonry, maybe like 2 or 3 feet high in between the walkway and the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
Remember that, like that little, that's what I had to stand on to look Johnny in the face. But there's a picture of me looking down at him and slapping my hands inside my hands. And that was me. That was me asking him if he wanted to go. And this was we left the stage during our set because I was just like, let's go. I was like, I'm tired of this dude. I'm tired of all this stuff. Like, again, I was at a boiling point in my own life, and at the end of the day, if I had been doing what I need to do in my life, I wouldn't have been in a position to be that mad about what was going on. So I'm gonna wear my full portion of the issue and situation. But yeah, I was ready to go with him. And again, outmatched by almost 300 pounds and a solid foot, almost foot and a half. And I was just like, well, I guess, Instead of not, I can't fight him. It was, I guess I need to stand on something 2 feet tall to punch him in the face. That's where my mind was up until literally just a few years ago. Which, like I said, that's why I jokingly was saying before we got on camera when I was introducing you to my people, it was like, this man's known me for up to 15, 17 years, and he still likes me. Like, that was, I said that as a joke.
Well, the reason, even though that was a joke, there's truth in that, because like,
we both grown though. Like,
yeah,
you know
when I met you, I mean, listen, you know, I had the alcohol. We won't talk about some of the other things, but now I'm happily married. This June, my wife and I will have been together for 12 years. It'll be 12 years. I was
gonna say, let me get my claps ready.
It'll be 12 years since we met. Bruh, this is a story. You know, this is, ladies and gentlemen.
Really, you know what that clap was? That clap was a sympathy clap for her for tolerating you for that long.
Bro, you have no idea.
I had to. I could. I'm sorry.
Why? Wait a minute. The messed up part is all my peoples that knew me before we met, they all said the same thing. They're like, "Yeah, let me holler at your better half." Like, bruh.
Yes.
You know. But
hey man, look, we might be cool. We might be cool, but we are not the easiest people to love, bro.
Truth. This has turned into, ladies and gentlemen, less of an interview and more of a catch-up session between me and Pauls. I promise you, we gonna talk music in a minute. But this is the story between me and the missus. So
yeah,
I met her.
I'm here for it.
I met her and her best friend the same night. They came to my show over in Centerville, Old Shark Club. Was it Eddie? No, Revolutions now. I was setting up downstairs. They came downstairs. They were only 2 people down there the whole night. Because a lot of people didn't know there was a downstairs. Hell, I didn't know there was a downstairs until 3 weeks before they started the show. So I'm doing the show. We're talking. Her girlfriend was the one trying to holler. Her girlfriend slid me her number. She introduced me at the end of the night to her best friend. Oh, this is my friend Karen. I turn around. I'll say it because I tell the story to everybody. Everybody else knows the story. She was bent over picking up a purse. So when I turned around to say, hey, I was like, hey, ooh, hello. Cake already. Chocolate cake for breakfast. So So
was that 12-year anniversary you said?
Yeah, the 12 year. Well, it'll be 12 years since we met. We will be married this November. This June is 12 years since we met. This November we will have been married for 10 years. Nice. But a couple weeks later, she slid me her number. She slid me her number because her girlfriend was like, "Nah, he's just a player. I don't think I want to holler at him." And internally, she's like, "Yes," because they had the little pact. Yeah. If you go, I'm not. I'll back off. Well, when her girlfriend said, "Nah, I'm done," she was like, "Yes." So she slid me her number.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
so we started. We started talking and chopping it up, whatever. And 2 years later, we were married. And and that was back when. Look, that was back when Mr. Fingers was in full swing, bro. I was smaller. I was a little more swole, and then I have all this white stuff on my chin.
Look, and I was gonna say now to anyone that didn't have the privilege or pleasure of participating back in those days, my man used to. It looked like there's nights where it looked like he was going to court. He was so clean,
bruh. Clean as KJ in the business.
I'm telling you.
Somebody had to tell me. Somebody actually pulled me. It was my man. My brother, the softball player. I don't know if you met him or not. His name's Jordan, about 6'4", very important. He and I used to do like peaches and cream and jagged edge and stuff like that together. Yeah. So he told me. He said,
"Oh my God, that's been a minute. That's been a brick."
He says, "Hey man, you ever think that you could be more relaxed if you were more comfortable?" I'm like, "What you mean?" Like, because I would be like button down, slacks. Going to church shoes.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes I would do shirt and tie, and then Veterans Day. Wait a minute, were you there on Veterans Day? I mean, you used to do costume changes, go in the bathroom, come out, singing "God Bless the USA" with my dress blues on, that kind of thing. So he's like, "Get comfortable."
No, like I said, bro, it was an experience. It was an experience. That's what I remember. I don't remember every single thing, but I remember it was a full-on experience.
And that was what I tried to do. I wanted people to enjoy themselves, and then this incredible.
But see, you never seemed quote unquote uncomfortable or stiff or anything to me. But again, I'm like, my granddad used to dress like that. Like I knew older cats that would fist fight in a suit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I was too.
Yeah, I was like,
I went to Catholic school growing up. I would fight in my school uniform.
I
was never uncomfortable. It's just that
you had my brother thought it would be one night.
My brother thought that it was no, you good. My brother thought that it was like, hey man, why don't you
you'd be more approachable in street
I
clothes.
think
or
I
whatever,
think that
something
was
like
it.
that. I think that's what
that
he
was
meant.
it.
Yeah.
So the look became it evolved. It became the more like I was dressed to go to the club versus going to the office.
Right.
You know what I
But
mean?
not
And
like,
then
but not like the Bama Club to where like they have to have a metal detector and all that. Like,
no, like Players Club,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
button down shirt,
I
and
was
sleeves
just
rolled
making
up
that
to the forearm.
distinction. I was making that distinction for people that never got to, they didn't get to
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, not the club, but you can get in with not the club with the Timbs and the saggy jeans. We
Yeah,
talking about the
exactly.
Players Club.
Not the club you come see me perform at. Not the
Bruh,
club
the
where
thing
I,
y'all did, bruh, speaking of performing, the joint y'all did in DC, that was tight.
which
That was very tight. I forgot what it was. It was something that you did, and you came out and immediately. I think the camera was following you or whatever. And before you came out on stage, shirt immediately off. I was like, oh, he's about to go in.
wait,
And
is
you
this
had this thing
the Union Stage show like last year or whatever?
year before, like it was a couple years ago.
Oh man, that was the one with the record label I'm on with Man Bites Dog. That one, like with
Yeah, I
me by
think so.
myself. It was a solo joint, right?
I think so. When you did a whole set. I don't know if it was
Yeah. That was the Master Ace. It was Master Ace and DJ Marco Polo was there. Diamond D did a 45 set. That one.
I think so. Well, I only caught your piece because
Yeah,
I
I
was
be
like, I wasn't
wilding.
familiar with everybody else, but I was like, I'm
I
gonna show my
wild in
man
the
some love.
city, bro. I wild in the city because everybody's always got trees, bro, and I
Soon
wild.
as you come on stage, and for those of you that have never, for those of you that have never had a chance to see my man perform, if you saw the promo that I put out, there's a very distinctive way you hold a microphone. Like it's like
So that that started during doing I had an anti-suicide song.
okay.
And so that whole started where one night I literally tied the cord around my throat and was
No, that wasn't the one I was talking about. I'll let you
no,
finish.
but
That's
that
not the one I was talking about.
but no, but the mic, the way I hold the mic, I started rapping it for years because I like to pull it away and like I like to like punch with it. I like to do stuff. So like I hold mine a particular way because I noticed like right and like the playing with the chords and all that all came from like punk aesthetics.
But there's also the thing with the finger under the nose, where you hold it to your mouth with the finger under the nose, like
For
somebody just
distance.
popped a nasty smelling one.
Yeah, but it's if I can
You
show
keep,
it's for
yeah, you
distance.
keep it away from your mouth.
It's for distance and like and also it's a good check. Like because I'll yank my mic away. I bloodied my own nose before because I came back too fast and popped myself in the nose. But it's like it looked cool. I don't remember
Yeah.
what show it was, but I was bleeding out of my face and it looked awesome. You know what I mean? I'm up there in just gym shorts, bleeding all over myself. I felt like Iggy Pop or something. It was pretty cool.
So
But
I want to get into. I want to switch gears for a minute. I want to get into. I know a lot of people that are, I know a lot of people that are in the game that are in the same game, the hip hop and all that goodness. I don't know. I can't name one other person. Well, they may have a catalog, but I can't name one other person outside of you that has literally put out everything, just about everything in their catalog. Sometimes you're dropping 2 releases a year.
okay,
Remember one day, like I thought I was all caught up, and then I looked and I was like, I'm about 4 or 5 albums back because I normally will cop when you drop
yeah,
something.
I only released like 3 or 4 last year, I think. But
Wait,
2009.
but do you hear what you said? 3 or 4 last year. 3 or 4
Yeah,
in a year.
it was a slow year, man. Like,
Because I know folks that do one out. Like think about this: Michael Jackson, King of Pop, Thriller dropped in November '82, I believe it was.
right.
He didn't drop his next album till 86, 87. And then the
And
next album didn't drop till
hey, but look,
90, 91.
but look at the space between Off the Wall and Thriller though.
Off the Wall was 80. Off the Wall was 80.
Right. And the only and then you have Thriller. So Off the Wall, bang, boom,
Okay.
and I right, and then he became the adult or whatever, or the more adult Michael Jackson because Little Michael. But all right, so look at it like this. That's rap artists. Rap artists are whack. Rap music is the easiest thing to do, and I'm about to hurt some feelings now that we're talking about rap music. I've been waiting for this. Rap music is the weakest art form, and I'll tell you why. Because anybody can do it or say they're doing it. You can't pretend to be a rock star if you don't own a piece of equipment. You even to be a vocalist, you have to have range or something.
Mm.
And if you don't, you're not successful. Rap is the only area where you can be successful with no talent at all. Go back. I like one of my favorite things.
Wait. Before you pause you right there, I got to jump in.
Oh,
right
and
here.
EDM too. You can push buttons.
This is one of the things about you that I have a lot of respect for. There is there you can tell there's a point where rap began to evolve into what it is now with Migos
Correct.
and things of that nature. And I'm not hating on it because they're hustling and they're making theirs, but the art form has become diluted. And so, I have not ever heard you use a single bit of auto-tune, little bit of mumble rap, none of that. You are one of the few people that I know.
I got too much respect for myself.
Okay, I'll put it like this. These
guys sell their soul for zoom zooms and wham whams. If you'll put auto-tune on, you'll snitch on your people. If you'll do mumble rap, then that means you don't respect your mother and you probably can't read. Like it's a and I'll even go as far as to say if you can sit around listening to that stuff every day, we probably can't have a conversation. And I'm not saying I'm smarter than you, better than you, anything like that, but obviously our priorities are different. If you can listen to someone mumble through credit card scams and drug abuse all day, I can't. I got, you know what I'm saying? So I pride myself on still being better. Every time I put something out, it's better than what I did before.
You have the thing that I was going to say is you have
my bad to interrupt.
Done your no, you're good. You're good. I have thought, you know how
exactly. I was gonna say I'm communicating. I'm communicating how we normally communicate past this interview forum. So it's like
you have done your homework. Your music, your style has you have retained the essence of hip hop. Like it's not just rap because there is a distinct difference. There's rap. And then there's hip hop, and you have taken that essence of and maintained. I mean, right down to the type of samples that you use, the beats that you use. Like you are very. I would have to say, like when I listen to what you put out, it's like I want to say like 90s going into the early 90s into the mid 90s, with the ties into the socially conscious verses. Like you don't do anything about glorifying.
I don't say the B word. I think you can only count me saying the B word like 4 or 5 times on record. I've said the N word before, but not in a long time. I've got 3 projects out right now that don't have a single curse word on them.
Right, and it's like there's no need for you don't feel the need to have to do that.
But you know, I remember doing that first back in the day. Nobody cursed on their singles. Because you couldn't get radio play, right? But you could also hear how they needed those extra syllables. They could have been able to drop. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but there's certain people like I love Rakim to death. But there's songs where it's like he should have stopped at the second verse. He ran out of steam on the third verse. Snoop Dogg, on Doggy Style, when he starts spelling, means he's freestyling. A lot of those third verses are completely unnecessary. And because it was like we're trying to fit some mold. Dr. Dre said the song has to be this long. I don't know. But it's like, no, man, those first 2 verses were fire. Do 2 verses and a chorus in between and you're done. Get out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
right. There's no need to. There's no need to
hey,
be.
Man,
it doesn't have to be formulaic.
Bro, you killed it. It's like you were doing great, but just killed it. You know, like when I came up again, I'm born in '81, so it's cool to get to the music part now, I guess. But I was born in '81, and back when your parents had record collections.
Yes, sir.
And I remember my dad was a Parliament fan, which I think every self-respecting black man is and was a Parliament fan. And he had every one of he had P-Funk All-Stars.
Listen, Parliament. I still remember. I was introduced to Parliament as a little boy. I am Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Devoid of funk.
I will never dance.
Mine was Mother Earth is Mother Earth is pregnant for the 3rd time off of Maggot Brain. That was the one that changed everything for me because we have knocked her up. And he said shit. And he said, and George Clinton said shit on the record, but there's no parental advisory sticker, which threw me off. Then to come to find out the parental advisory. Now this cancel culture thing. real quick.
That came about in the 90s.
I'm gonna throw that on there.
Cop
Frank
killer.
Zappa. Frank Zappa had a parental advisory sticker put on a record where he didn't even speak. Everybody talks about cancel culture. They forget white Christians and Republicans have been canceling everything forever. They canceled an entire civilization in the indigenous people that live in this country. Just to touch that, I mean, because I'm gonna use this clip. Ain't no cancel culture. Ain't no cancel culture. Just right now, all that offensive stuff that y'all like is finally being checked. Y'all try to cancel Twisted Sister, white Christian closet racist, because that's what all y'all are.
Listen,
to cancel. Hey,
Twisted Sister, Black Sabbath, Megadeth, all of that. Like
they try to cancel, right? But Metallica was this and blah 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 blah. These people try to cancel everything. Marilyn Manson, who I think is a horrible scumbag and makes trash music. You guys, if you're less. If you're over 20, if you're my age, if you're 39 and you remember that, I don't want to see you posting memes about cancel culture because we grew up through the banned book list. Well, a lot of you guys were idiots and don't read anyway, but there was a banned book list. I got in trouble. I almost got expelled from school for having these books on me. Behold a Pale Horse, you weren't allowed to have. COINTELPRO papers, which now they're making Netflix videos about this stuff. You weren't allowed to have it. The Anarchist Cookbook. Those books you weren't allowed to have. Now you can download them off of Audible. So I don't want to hear anything about cancel culture because I'm just getting back stuff that I enjoyed as a child that y'all were afraid of. So with that being said, I come from an era where my dad's favorite group, we would have all their records. Earth, Wind, and Fire, all them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at the back, I'm reading liner notes, I'm like, man, this George Clinton guy is the executive producer, whatever that means. And my dad has like 75 records of his from like 13 different groups. Some of them were dropped in the same year. And I was like, I'm going to do that. It was pretty much that simple. Once I started working on music, it was like, I want to drop a record in January and I want to drop another one in March. And then when people were like, and so I started doing, like when I was younger, ask the kids in my high school, man, I would drop a 30 to 90 minute tape every couple of weeks, like all new material. But then eventually people were like, Joe, I haven't finished listening to the last one.
Right.
So I'm like,
bro,
at the time, I'm like, well, catch up. That ain't my problem. So, but now I learned, again, if I drop a record every month, you're not even going to be able to absorb it. Not that I haven't done that. This year's 2019, I think I dropped singles, group projects, solo projects. I think I have 20 releases.
So how many? Let's
ballpark.
Take singles out of the equation. How many albums have you dropped?
Like just LPs or EPs too? Like that's
we'll do EPs, no singles. Just LPs and EPs. How many have you dropped? And we're talking
that are accessible to people right now.
Yeah.
20, 25, something like that.
And how short a time period?
Since I hopped on the internet and learned how to upload stuff in 2010, 2011.
So in 11 years, you dropped almost twice as many projects. That is,
like I said, I'm moving slow. I'm sorry.
But dude, that's unheard of. Like,
but I had a whole 3 years where I didn't actually, and I'm only counting from when I released the record with Man Bites Dog. That came out in 2010. And I actually had no idea how it got on the internet. I literally didn't understand any of that stuff. I was actually, Ryan, if Ryan watches this, I want to give him his flowers. Shout out to Ryan M. Lynch from Man Bites Dog at my CD release show, which we sold out at the old Firehouse, at 165 people in there at the same time, which is the biggest show I ever saw there, right? The one in Fairfax, right off of
University in Maine. That's what I used to do.
Literally, bro, we had the side doors open and people that paid to get in were sitting outside. So, but Ryan had me do a digital release, which I was like, digital? Don't nobody have that, because I didn't own a computer. I had put no stock into digital anything. Now everything's digital. But I was just like, man, no, you're wilding. Let's press CDs and tapes. And he's like, man, nobody buying CDs and tapes right now. It's 2010. He's like, you can listen to music on your phone. I was like, no, you can't, because I couldn't. I don't even know if my phone took pictures.
It's funny you mentioned that. It is so funny you mentioned that. I was watching.
Ryan was ahead of his time, though. Ryan was definitely ahead of his time with
about an hour before we linked up. We did the pre-show sound check. The comedian Gary Owen has a podcast, and he was talking to a lady, and she was talking about how she got her brand, how she was able to elevate her brand as a fitness coach. And she said it was around about the time when she got her first MacBook and it didn't have a CD DVD player in it.
Yeah.
That she realized that it was that the DVD was dead. There was no more DVDs. So yeah, I didn't. Bro, I worked at I remember going to work at Blockbuster in 2005 as a part-time gig. And the lady was telling me about how it fell under the umbrella of CBS Viacom, and they weren't going anywhere for a while because they had all this great financial backing. Man, 2 years later, and this was when I was with the ex-wife. 2 years later, she got some. We were watching some DVDs. I said, "Where did you get those from? You didn't go to Blockbuster." She said, "No, it's from this new company called Netflix. You order the DVDs and they send them to you." I said, "Oh, there goes Blockbuster," and here we are, 15 years later. Yeah. But I will still. Look, as long as you keep putting out CDs, I will because you always give the content. Does not.
You know what? Speaking of which, there's going to be a bunch of people watching this that are going to call me out, guys. I have everybody's orders placed. My work got out of hand, and I think I admitted on the internet, I allowed life to kick me in the ass for a couple of weeks. I have all your stuff. I got everybody's money. Nobody got. I looked up and 3 weeks had passed. But I got CDs for everybody. Trust me, everybody's gonna be taken care of. I got I'll make it worth your while. Trust me. But
you always the musical content is always on point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say from 2010 to like 2013, I didn't release anything. Or 2014, so there was like a 2 or 3 year period where I actually didn't release anything. The only reason I even count that 10 years is because of the Man Bites Dog project. If you take that one project off, all of the releases I've done are from 2015 or 2016. So I guess in like 6 years, I know, and I think I'm actually underestimating it, but it's like 6 years I've released 20 projects with 3 to 17 songs on it. Because that counts as
and that's my point. You're not just putting out some like Mike Epps like to say, you're not putting out no what you call it, a muggle. You're not putting out no muggle bumps with like 7 or 8 songs on it. You putting out 15 to 20 song projects with every single project. I don't know where you get the inspiration, but you must just write all day. Well,
all right. So I actually will get in these whole. Again, it was my thought process. And a lot of people won't acknowledge where they get their inspirations or aren't even familiar with or sure where they got them from. I'll be straight up about mine. Like I said, Parliament, George Clinton himself was an extremely large influence of mine. I had to get the kid a snack real quick. You know what I mean?
I feel you, man.
We dads out here. But yeah, so I remember I'm like, how in the world was this man so creative? How is this possible? Even for what it's worth, we'll relate it to hip hop, because I think Lil Wayne is a scumbag and worthy of a bullet to the head, but on a personal level. But artistically, he's a whack artist too. He can't rap. There's actually nothing good about the guy at all. I'm sure he's a horrible father. I'm sure he's a sexual degenerate, and he's worthy of running my fade every time I think about him. But his work ethic. For a little while there, you could not turn on the radio and get away from this little gremlin scumbag.
No, you could not. I mean, he had a hit. There was a hit every 3 months.
And it was hit every 3 months. And it's like, all right, so again, I don't like him. The music's whack. I would love to read his obituary. But I can't deny he figured out, he struck a chord. He figured something out. And what I learned was he was striking while the iron was hot. He had he had a tour bus, but it was $1 million tour bus studio. So when on his in between shows, he's listening to his references. He's recording new songs. He's working on 5-6 albums at a time, just like Parliament. George Clinton basically never stopped recording for like 17 years straight. And so it's like whatever mood he was in, he had a project that fit that mood. So some projects that I'll drop, people will be like, yo, man, when did you do that? I'm like, well, I started it in 2011. They're like, you've been working on that for 11 years? Like, no. I've been doing a song here and there, or like a song got taken. But I always, if I started a project in 2018 and we decide to redo it now, I re-record all my vocals in the same day. I always do that for all my projects. What I do is I reference everything and then I re-record it all at once for the continuity in my voice and the continuity in mood. That's what I've done that for the longest time. I've always had my own equipment or had direct access to a studio. I learned how to work all the equipment there. I won't name any artists. You know what? I will, because I'm not a fan of this guy. I remember UGod. I think he's a horrible rapper and the weakest member of the if he wasn't in Wu-Tang Clan, no one would know who he is. But the fact that he's in Wu-Tang Clan, you know who he is. Come on now.
Listen,
Come on,
wait,
you guys.
I just have to say this to anybody that's watching it now or will be watching it later. If you came here thinking that this guy was going to you see people that will play nice with everybody. This man does not. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you haven't figured it out, Empuls does not mince words. He does not mince words. If he doesn't like you, if he doesn't like somebody, he'll just let you know. Now here's where.
My issue with UGod, and my issue with UGod, again, separate from me never thinking he had any talent at all and being true and honest about it, the guy wanted to fist fight me because he said that I was trying to sound like Ghostface. But I'm thinking, okay, I don't care what you said I did. You want to fight me. Whatever you want to fight me about. Whatever it is, let's fight. So I pulled up on him and I shouldn't say pulled up because that to the kids that these days it means I ran up on him aggressively with a gun in my hand. No, I walked up to him at a Hurricane Katrina benefit show at Jack's, and I walked up to him and said, "Yo, are we good?" And he said, "Yeah," and we dapped, and that was that. And also we interacted at the backstage at the first DC Wu-Tang show after Old Dirty passed. Which, you know what? Let me be more balanced, and you guys did get us in that show. Hey, Kaya, turn it down, please. Turn it down, please. Thank you. Sorry about that. We're excited now.
I was vibing. I was like, you know what? I might be able to do something with that.
Well, she starts self-stemming. That's those three or four keys in a row and chords in a row. That's self-stem when she starts to break things. Because we're still, like I said, developmental delays don't go away, folks. Anyway, excuse me. So UGod got us backstage in that show, and me and UGod were the only two people at the bottom of the stairwell. And if you ever been to 930 Club, there's a stairwell where you could end up worse for wear because no one's gonna hear you scream. And
I just want to say this fun fact about Mr. Fingers: lived in the DC area for 18 years. Not once did I ever have an opportunity to go to the 930 Club. Not once.
I only went if I could get backstage. I literally refused, and to this day still. And no insult to any rapper or anybody watching this, but I am not gonna spend money to come see you perform. I'm working on making you spend money to come see me. Unless I get backstage, I'm not coming. I mean,
That's fair.
Not to be rude. I'm probably a better performer than you anyway. Why am I gonna come and learn something that I already know? You should probably come to my show. I teach you something, But especially
no punches pulled. Listen, I told you,
CFG
0.
And again, I don't want this to reignite. You know what? I'm being way too callous, trying to be funny. I don't want you guys to get upset with me. I think he has bigger fish to fry and won't see this. But he was actually really cool. There was like 3 or 4 guys at the top of the stairwell that were obviously ready to, they weren't rappers. And they were like, Huey, we good? And I don't live in DC, bro. I didn't have my stick with me or nothing. Like I was just out there. And he was like, yeah, we're good. Me and Youngblood are good. So me and Huey were cool. I heard a couple more times my name came up and bad things were said. So as a person, I like the man. Like, I got nothing against him as a man. But I think as a fellow artist, I'm allowed to say that he's not very good at all and literally deserves no attention as a musician. I'm allowed to say that, I think. I mean, for F's sake, you know? Like Tyga. Like, if Tyga wasn't Lil Wayne and Travie McCoy's family, no one would know who he is. And if Travie McCoy wasn't the token light-skinned dude in a really crappy white band, nobody know who he is. But we need to, as a society, we need to be allowed to say these things. And as a musical culture, we have to be allowed to say, or be able to say, like, that guy's not very good. He's only successful because of his marketing. And again, Lil Wayne is not good at all. At all. He's whack. If you think he's one of the best, then I don't ever want to talk to you about anything in life. And I hope
But you know that discussion. You know that discussion was being had 15 years ago.
And that disgusted me. That discussion was disgusting. It made me upset then. I remember telling a grown man to his face, I hope you've never reproduced children with that kind of thought process in your head. Your gene pool is very shallow. You harvested yourself in a petri dish if you think Lil Wayne is talented. That means you're not talented. That means you're not talented. You're not talented, and you're not capable of noticing talent. You don't even know what talent. You may not be able to spell it. You're one of those talk to text people because you can't spell 2-syllable words. Get away from me. Get away from me right now.
Wait a minute. Not talk to text with the pantomime.
With the pantomime. Yeah. You're not even allowed to know my daughter's. You couldn't spell my daughter's full name. It's got 9 letters in it. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So and again, this is Empuls, guys. Derek doesn't actually typically care, but we're talking about Impuls's music and what went into that thought process. But my whole thing with putting music out and creating these projects, again, it was like, even right now, I've got we'll shift into that in a second, but I used to have, and he want to tell you, I used to have up to 11 projects going at any given time.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Whatever mood I'm in, I could always create, because there's a lot of people still alive, a lot of property undamaged, a lot of things went unchecked because I decided to stay home and rap. There's a lot of people that still have appendages because I was like, you know what? I'm too mad to leave the house. So let's make Annihilation Enterprise. Let's make Mechanism of Action. I'm gonna take this beat and do a song called I'll Kill You in Your Sleep, because this is the only time I can say these words out loud and not go to jail.
Right.
The stuff I've said in my records would get me committed. If I walked into a therapist, I actually say that on Kill You in Your Sleep. I say that if it's a therapist. You want another snack? Let's go get another snack. Let's go. The boss is yelling at me. Let's go get another snack.
Trust me, I know that feeling. I gotta.
How did I?
my daughter's 20, and she just look at me and go, Dad, can I have ice cream? Can you pick me up ice cream from the store? And I had no intention of going to the store.
But the next.
I got a wife and a daughter. Wait a minute. I got a wife and a daughter in the same house.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you know what?
I know that feeling.
Hey man, they say you can't serve masters. It's like, well, I got more than one kid, so you want a banana?
Well, with the boys was different. The boys were different because when they were little, it was one thing. When they got older, I'm like,
you can do it yourself.
Yeah, your grown rusty butt somewhere.
See, what was I saying about the whole? I'm sure I was trying to make myself sound cool talking about rap. What was I saying?
Believe you were talking about going to the therapist.
Oh yeah, so I was saying about working on all this music at the same time, releasing all these things, having all this stuff going, using it as therapy, and I think I was making fun of some artists at the same time too, but so just constantly having something to work on, constantly having something going. That was my way. That's how I did it. The first album I put out, official album I put out, the one with Man Bites Dog, it's actually called The Very Best of Empuls.
Uh-huh.
And that's a play on the fact that I had 13 albums going at the same time. So what we did was everybody in the studio, all my homies, we all collectively sat down and was like, what's everybody's favorite songs? We kind of all made lists, and then we correlated the lists. And the songs that matched, we kept them, and that was what became the record. But it was literally just like That's why there's no correlating. When I listen to it, it sounds like a hot mess because there's no underlying or correlating thought. So what I started doing after that was, all right, that's not going to work. I can't just grab songs and put them together, which a lot of rappers, again, I moved back to rap being the easiest thing in the world to do. You don't have to correspond with a band. You just need instrumentals. You know, there's no artisan or artistry to it. Again, because Lil Wayne can do it. So there's no real artistry necessary. And so what I started doing was literally like right now, while we were talking, I have an idea for a whole other record, which I'm arrogant enough to tell everybody what it is, knowing that nobody can do it as well as I'm about to. It's going to be called Flowers. And every single song is going to be named after a different flower.
Okay.
And I'll do more correlations after that.
So yeah. Is that the project that you have?
And that's how it works.
Is that the one that you have in the works now with the Man Bites Dog and Super Sounds?
No, I literally just thought about that right here while we were talking.
Okay.
Only because I want to do a song called Lily of the Valley. So I'm gonna do a whole project called Flowers.
Okay. Well,
and Black Eyed Susan. Black Eyed Susan sounds like a really cool song title. So
it does. I'm checking the time here. I don't know how long the live is going to let us stay on because we're pushing up against the 2-hour mark. So right. I really wanted to get into the whole Man Bites Dog, Super Sounds, Crazy Fingers, and all of that. That's going on.
Yes. So that is all of those are people I wanted to work with. All the Crazy Fingers. How did I meet Crazy Fingers? I don't want to delineate. I won't do the whole how I met everybody. If anybody wants to know how I met these guys, reach out to me individually. But the Man Bites Dog EP, we've been trying to link and rebuild and all that for a while. And Ryan and I finally pulled the trigger not too long ago. And this is one of the more collaborative projects I've ever done because this is one of the first times someone else had anything to do with the song titles or anything. It's going to be called Astronaut Visions, which that was Ryan's idea. I didn't, and it all came from a song. I have a song coming out. It's called Astronaut, and you'll when you hear it, you'll hear it. I'll send you personally a reference because you're going to be surprised. Everybody's really like blown away by this whole project. So. But yeah, that was Ryan's idea. Not all Ryan's idea, but to call it Astronaut Visions, it was off of a conversation we had. I used to want to be an astronaut, and I used to live in an area where, and I'm from a time that if you were black and smart, I think they still do this. I don't know. Hopefully we don't do this to ourselves anymore. But I was told I wanted to be white, and I actually didn't know what that meant. But my granddad always told me that it doesn't matter what somebody says. If they're trying to disrespect you, you beat them up anyway. Even if it's not a good insult, just prove the point that you're not going to do that to me. You can call me a glass of water, but if you say it too tough, I'm gonna knock you out. You can call me peanut butter and jelly, but say it nice. Talk to me nice. And but anyway, I remember people telling me I wanted to be white because I did well in school, and I never understood that. I was like, don't we all want to aspire to be the smartest? People died so I could be allowed to be in the same room as white folks and read books, and you guys are made to make fun of me? This is weird. So that's how I grew up. So when I told Ryan about the whole astronaut thing, he was like, I never even knew that. And I was like, yeah, I never talked about it. So that was like, hey, that's a concept I hadn't even thought of. So I did like one of those storytelling, which I don't typically do. Usually it's just bars, I'm better than you. So the whole project is like double entendres and kind of a reveal about me. Which again, this is probably one of the more revealing interviews I've ever done too, because this is like the most I've ever really talked about myself.
All right, like I said, we're pushing up against 2 hours. You were going to have plenty to chop this up and do with. So,
but yeah, so that's how that whole thing came about. That's enough. That's enough for now. That's enough. But that's how that one came about, and that's being mixed and mastered by Dustin Burdett right now. Come on. Here. They're doing like a little. They're doing a cooking class, and I'm being loud. No, I'm sorry. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Come on. And then, after that goes. Come on.
You know what? That's one of the things that makes this show unique. Is that it's like there's no real.
I got it.
There's no. You know what I'm saying? There's no real setup. It's like we're at a desk. And we just, whatever happens. This is probably
mine are kind of like on the road conversations. You know what I mean? Like I'm just, and this is like all right. So just to say, like, the whole thing about Impulse is like one of the most active dudes. All right, like this is I don't really sit still too much. I have my daughter on the weekends.
No, you don't.
I'm extremely fortunate to have my daughter on the weekends. I couldn't be any more blessed and everything in my life. But let me grab finish my energy drink. But yeah, so that record is being mixed and mastered by Dustin Burdett, aka Count Cliff, at like literally as we speak. We just pulled the trigger on that one, metaphorically speaking, and it's gonna be I want to say 8 songs.
That's a short one for you.
Yeah, we will try and bang out a little quick EP, just like a little taste test because. Again, it's our first project coming back together, working together in ages, and just like I said, wanted to give them. Is this squealing on your side or just my side?
You're good. I can see you. I can see your hand right now, but.
Well, I think it's these earbuds. They're dying. They're like squealing.
Oh no! That must
be get back to what my perch. But yeah, so that record's being mixed and mastered literally as we speak. Because the final versions are done and beats are paid for, I can say, turn it down, please. Thank you. There's I got a beat from Blockhead. I don't know if like these from my underground MC, like underground cats is Blockhead, Blockhead from like Def Jux Blockhead. I got a beat from him. He's did a lot of production for Aesop Rock, which a lot of people are familiar with him. So we got a beat from Blockhead. Excuse me. We got tracks from Dub Sonata, my man Black Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Wu-Tang affiliations, and again, hopefully I didn't just ruin my Wu-Tang affiliation by quote unquote going in on Ghost or on you guys. You guys got to understand. It irritated me to be called a biter. You got to understand. I don't tolerate that. But I got beats from Bronze Nazareth, Wu-Tang fame, and on the Bronze Nazareth beat is a verse from Copyright. That's gonna probably I think be the lead single. It's called Prized Horse. That's like I said, it's a movie. As I heard someone say the other day, and I thought it was corny. I think it's actually kind of funny to say, but it's a movie. It's a movie. It's I think there's gonna be like 4 or 5 videos. Again, Brian has all these great ideas and had great ideas that I never really understood or put any space behind or anything. And but now just talking to him, like I said, I feel almost it's actually serendipitous that we're talking now because I feel rejuvenated. At 40 years old, I finally figured it out. That's how I feel. Like, so I got all this material out, whatever. The stuff I'm about to put out makes this stuff sound like I just got started. Like none of these records, nothing I've ever done is going to touch the stuff I got coming out right now. That's how confident I feel. And if you don't feel like that with every record, don't put it out. For artists out there, if every record you do, you don't feel more confident in the last one, then don't do it. It's like if you're a parent, you're like, man, I kind of sucked with this first kid. Don't have another one.
Right.
Don't.
I'm looking forward to catching up with that. I've been short.
So that's the record with Man Bites Dog. My man, the original super legend. He has Super Sounds LLC. He's based out of Chicago. We gotta
you put some work in getting these folks on.
Hold up. Can I hear you? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. I was just saying you are working with folks from all over the place. It's not just
my earbuds are whack.
Not just the Virginia spots.
No, man. As a matter of fact, the majority to shout out my peoples, like this is why I was like, it's always dangerous for me to get into the music things. I feel like I have too many people to name just to be respectful. But like, so I've got my folk down in the UK. A lot of so I've got a projects coming. My man DJ Alchemy, we have two different established groups, three more that haven't been named. But we together are Wasp 18B. We've put out 2 records. We got 3 more. I have a group called Unsigned. We got a project out. We're about to drop another one. I got Built on Principle. I forgot. I just remembered. Yeah, the second Built on Principle record's coming this year. 1, 2, 3, 4. But Man Bites Dog, Wasp 18B, Unsigned, Built on Principle, Super Sounds project. Oh, me and my man Crazy Fingers are dropping Rogue Wave. That's gonna be a 3-song like maxi single EP.
Okay.
And what else? Who else? I know I'm missing one. Oh, and then my people's in Ohio. Yeah, because all right. So DJ Alchemy is from Wales, in the UK.
Okay. Wait a minute. You said that DJ Alchemy?
Yeah.
Oh,
my man Eugene.
Scared of you, bro?
Pardon.
I do good getting my local people just to jump in on some stuff. I lost you. Looks like we're having a little difficulty with the sound there. Did I lose you, Doc? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know exactly what's going on right now. There you are.
They started playing one of my singles from it's trash. And
You're gonna get the whole copy of this video anyway. You be like, I'm just gonna cut that part out.
See, guys, this is when you have a million things going on, and you have one pair of earbuds, and you have no idea where they are. You literally take whatever you can get. But yeah. So DJ Alchemy is from Wales, and turn it down, please. He's from Wales, and I met him again. That's a whole these are all. Sometimes I forget when I've been doing this for 20-something years, and it's almost impossible just to quickly say, oh yeah, this guy. But yeah, DJ Alchemy, my man Eugene Dunyan. My God, we already have 40 songs out together, and we got 100 and something more coming. We're gonna put out the earbuds, see if I can hear you.
I haven't said anything.
No, I'm just because earlier, remember, I couldn't hear you for whatever reason, but I think it's
right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm just trying to. They're killing me. I'm not. So yeah, so we got I got then I got the project with oh man, my man Doc Remedy and the homie John Law. His name's Elemental. I'm blanking on the way. What are they, the Sun God and the Scenic Route or something like that? I can't remember. They've got a real cool name. I don't remember all the names for everything right now. I'm literally, it's swelling all at the same time. But trying to remember the names for all the projects just to even do that. Yeah. Okay. So the project with them is called Proper Court. It's a 7-song EP. So I got a 7-song EP with my homies from Ohio. The 8-song EP with the homies from VA, Man Bites Dog Records. The next Wasp 18B project, it's called Fermi Paradox. And Wasp 18B is based off of all the astronaut stuff I was into. It's the way I snuck all my nerdy stuff in.
Okay.
That's a 17-song LP. I've got the Mise en Garde project, which is me, DJ Alchemy, and Pun Ra. That's 5 songs, and that's Marginal Protection. That one's called Marginal Protection. The Built on Principle project is called Archimedes Screw, and that's going to have 13 songs on it. That's me, Saint Mike, and my man B Will. I've already lost track of what I was telling you. But
you are. But just to suffice to say, you are one of the hardest working brothers in the business. Like not even necessarily like your name is not world renowned per se, but you one of the hardest working brothers in the business. Every time I talk to you, you got a new project coming out. Every time I talk to you, you got either a new project coming
well, I
out.
messed
You just
myself up.
started
I
working on
think
another one.
when we were
Uh,
downstairs, literally the flowers thing popped in my head. I got to make a list when I get off of here because
I'm with you. I feel
because
that.
that's how that's a lot of these projects like just like all right to not even to like sound like the coolest, but this is for future reference. Anybody wants to collaborate or whatever, I do. My PayPal works. I got Venmo and Cash App if you want to work. And I'm telling you right now, you send me a folder of beats, I'll send you back a complete project, all the vocals ready to be mixed and mastered, all the song titles picked, all the artwork at least arranged in my head. But I'll give you everything you need to start mixing and mastering and label everything. Like all these titles I made up, they're all that came off a list. Like Archimedes Screw. A lot of people don't even. They don't. My goal with almost every title I've ever done is to make you think, or either think that it's not a hip hop record, or look it up. And Archimedes Screw, it's a primitive tool that was used to transport water uphill.
I just threw your handle up there in case folks want to follow and peep you out on the IG. That's where you can catch my man at Instagram at Imp.
Appreciate you, bro.
That's right,
Appreciate
right?
you. I'm certain. I don't know. I can't even see it.
It's just at Empuls.
On Instagram, I think it's like underscore dot impulse dot underscore because someone had my name, ironically enough.
I'm sorry, that's the Twitter handle, y'all. That's the
Yeah,
Twitter
there we
handle.
go. That's the Twitter handle. Yeah, which I'm never on, so don't be offended, guys. I'm never on it because I don't like Twitter because anybody can just pop shit to anybody. It's really weird to me. You got like 140 characters. You can't have a real conversation. It's a microwave. It's like a microwave version of conversation, and we should be making lasagnas meals and sitting down and talking and digesting. But that's a whole aside.
On the flip side of that, though, it also has forced some people to. It forces people to use their words to use their words
oh, bro,
economically and efficiently.
I'm just hating because I'm wordy and I don't know how to use it.
Man, I wanted to write a sermon, and you won't let me.
Bro, I can't quote any. You know how many times I try to quote my lyrics and I run out of space?
See,
I use more than 140 characters is like 3 lines for me, maybe 2 or 3 bars. Like I'm not cat in the hatting it like the rest of these dudes. I'm not mumble rapping it. I'm not telling you to sip lean and overdose. Like that's if you sip lean, you're probably gonna overdose. That's on you. I don't have, but I'm not Roddy Ricch or. I'm just naming the ones that some of my kids listen to. I don't even know these people, but I'm not designer. I know Panda. I'm not credit card scamming and all that stuff. Like if you want to listen to me, that's probably all you're doing right now. Like if you're riding in the car, I'm not. I got a couple of songs that are cool to cruise to, but trust me, if you listen to them in the car and your speakers and all, it's gonna sound great. It's mixed well. Then when you actually sit down in the comfort of your home with your earbuds in and listen, you're gonna be like, I didn't realize, but I didn't catch any of that. Like this entire album is a double entendre, and he just dropped another album. Oh God, dude! You know, it's like that's the goal. I want you at 40 years old. I still find unreleased Parliament stuff, and like I just found out a few years ago. I don't remember. It was like, no more snack, no more snack. I just found out about. Yeah, I know. Like, I didn't even know he was the executive producer on the Sweat Band until like 10 years ago. And then there's Parlette. And there's like bands I've discovered. There's a Brides of Frankenstein EP out there that I heard about that I haven't been able to find. But apparently they have like a white label EP out there. I want it. You know what I mean? And that's what I want. I want people to go, well, I've heard all 75 of Impulse's albums, but I heard there's a 76 out there somewhere. You're not hungry.
Sauce.
You're not hungry. All right. And I look at a lot of people don't know James Brown released about 100 records.
I read his autobiography. Not autobiography. It was,
he had 100, not 100 records. Excuse me. He had 100. He had 99 number one hits. I think, if I'm not mistaken. 99. Yeah. That now let's just say he did like Creed did, and released a 10-song project and they all went number one. That's still 10 of them.
Right.
That's more than your favorite rapper will ever do. Think about it like this, man. That again, back in the day when I'll shift back again. This is episode 8. Michael Jackson dropped Off the Wall, which he pretty much wrote himself. You're not hungry. You're not hungry. You're not hungry. You want me to go away?
Oh yeah.
I think I'm being kicked out of the room. No, I'm not. No. I'm doing my little thing. Play your piano, please. This is.
Is she humming for Elise?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Nice.
Hey, you sing for Elise? Or Moonlit Sonata?
No.
That's right, Sonata. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually, just for everybody to know, that's actually all I listen to when I'm with her is classical music. We started doing that when she was little because it soothed her in the car. And
now you talking my language. See, this is where
I had the 1812 overture on tape and all that, and still a tape deck. And like Pac Bell's Canon, and obviously like the Glorious Ninth. Wait
a minute. Let me drop one on you. What you know about Hector Berlioz's March to the Scaffolds from Symphonies Fantastique?
I mean, you try to get me hype. You know what I'm saying? That's like in the fight of the bumblebee getting like goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm literally. Yes. I don't know if you can see it, but I literally have goosebumps like talking about this. Like,
that's my wheelhouse. That's where I got the whole name from because of the piano thing. So you just got me.
So all right, real quick. I typically wouldn't do this, but to bring everybody into the world a little bit. That's her piano right there. I kept a piano with her, her pretty much her entire life because you are not hungry, and sometimes she just likes to yell at you and like it's a repetitious stem thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hungry, let's get your plate. Get the plate. You get the plate. Come here. Get your plate. Get your plate and your fork. Yeah, like I said, we'll stem out and freak out but you know, adults stem out and freak out too. We just don't admit it and we don't know it, and we can't. This kid just can't hide it. There's no. If you think I don't mince words, have a kid that's on the autistic spectrum. It's nonverbal. There's no words minced when words don't matter. You hear that?
Yes, sir.
No. Yeah, it's a little for Elise popping.
Father of the year. No joke. No joke. Wait. No joke in that whatsoever. No joke intended in that whatsoever.
Bro. I'm not even the father of the next 5 minutes, bro. Father of the year.
This is all I'm saying. There are. If you polled 100 people, and it was an anonymous poll, nobody knew any way to figure out who said what. I guarantee you there would be a single-digit percentage of parents that would say, "That's my child. I'm going to love that child regardless. Anyway, do everything I can for that child." But that other 2-digit percent on the other side would be like, "Oh, I don't know if I could handle it. It would just be too much." And I watch you interact with her in your live videos, and now here we are doing the stream together in the middle of an interview, and you stop in the middle of an answer and be like, "Oh, well, here's the plate." You know what I mean? So I got nothing but love for that.
I got to prioritize. You know what I mean? But and at the end of the day, what else am I here for? And I wasn't always this good. Emotionally speaking, I wasn't able to handle what was going on with her for a real long time. To be completely honest, like just to be super forthright, because I here and there I keep forgetting that this is live and other people can see it. I feel like we're just catching up.
Right.
So this is probably going to be my best interview ever, I do believe. But yeah. So I mean, what else would I be doing with myself and with my energy? Drop the phone again. But no, I usually when she was born, when they told us all the things she wouldn't do and all these other things and all this other sad stuff, that's where I was at for a real long time. And like I had. Yeah, there you go. Good order. I had to get past all these like emotional whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's two ways around it.
Mm.
Like it's not gonna work if I don't. I still am. I still have. You know. I mean. Oh man. See, I don't know. You know what? Actually, my homies and my pops. Come on, let's go upstairs. Come on, we'll take it. Go. I'll carry it. Yeah, you take your apple. First apple. Show me. I told you I'll help you. Goofball. Yes, this is the same guy that was talking about having a blicky on it illegally and out of state. Yeah, I know. It's called duality, guys. It's called duality.
Yes.
But
you know what, bro? I think what we're gonna do. I think we've hit a good stopping point here for the live. No. I'm just saying for the live. Me and you can chop it up a little bit longer because I gotta start getting dinner together.
I was just saying, yeah, you got a life. Yeah. See, this is the beautiful part. I was say the easy part for me is she's the only person I got to take care of right now or keep track of. So it's like, you know what? I can just keep throwing some food at her. She's gonna pass out here soon. She's gonna take a nap. But I just throw some food at her But just I guess to wrap up. I know I was wrapping something up music wise, but yeah, the whole just staying active, making as much music as possible. I literally thought that's what the whole goal was. Like it was to make as much music as possible, to make it all really good, and for other people to like it. And the making the money part literally never came into my mind. Now I realize I probably should have been rich or something. Who knows? I could have. I've turned down offers to ghostwrite for people because it just didn't seem right, and it still doesn't. But anybody out there, message me directly, and if you PayPal, if I can fill the refrigerator for her, I can now see. I'll freestyle something for you that'll be better than anything you could ever do. But
now, if I may, one of the things for me. And what I do, all of the things that I do entertainment-wise with the music and getting the podcast thing going and all of these things, for me, it's more of a part of a legacy to leave for, I have 4 children of my own, 3 boys and a girl, and then 2 by marriage. It's a legacy to leave the kids. It's something to be able to say. It doesn't necessarily have to be something tangible because, especially us, we'll fight over money in a minute when somebody dies. Be like, oh, they said I could have that. And, people you mentioned pulling the blicky, there'll be blickies and sticks and all kinds of stuff out.
Yeah, please believe.
But when it comes to this, maybe the music is not necessarily tangible, but it's something that they can go back and say, that's my dad. My dad did that. Or I helped my dad do that because I've got tracks I did with I had tracks I did with my oldest son. I got a track with my daughter playing the violin on it. You heard it. I forgot. You got a copy of the joint. Like I've got these things, and you know what?
Thank you again, by the way.
Oh, you're quite welcome, sir. And that's part of that legacy. That's something they will always have. Now, my second son is like, yo, dad. Like he wasn't even interested in it back then. Now he's like, well, Pop, we will get it, yo. I'm like, say the word. We don't have to be in the same place. The technology, we don't have to be in the same place anymore.
And see, and the coolest thing about yours though is like, and again, this is to make fun of guys that have no talent at rap. I know, but it's also to give you, you actually have to physically do things. You know what I'm saying? Like yours it's actual music, okay, and it's a memory to share with your child, and they can listen to it, and that's my dad, and even if there's gonna be if you were still out here. 10, 15 years from now, there's going to be people who be like, yo, me and my wife met at one of your dad's karaoke functions. Like, you've got, right? Like, so there is a legacy.
Oh, brother, I have.
You probably have a whole list of people. Yeah.
I have several progeny that I not only did they meet at my show and get married, I wound up DJing their wedding.
See, that's the thing you don't get in rap. Typically, now there's people that I actually mentor. I won't name any of their names, but I mentor a bunch of kids around here that are music mentors. That they're not from my walk of life, not from my whatever, and all they know me as is the music they've heard and what their parents told about me, and they listen to music, and then they'll hear stuff that I don't hear. You know what I mean? So like to me, what my hope is for the first time really in my life is I'm trying to make the perfect record to where I'm gonna continue to make music, but my goal. So, I mean, look, everybody just watch this or this familiar. My daughter is never gonna live independently. This is something I can never say out loud without crying or whatever. To be super candid, but I can just say this to you. I'm sure my eyes are getting a little red, but she will never live independently. She will never fall in love. She will never drive a car. Okay, but I could make a record where she never has to worry about that. She's got caregivers forever. She's got everything she needs. If I have a heart attack right now on this live, she can't even call her mom on the phone to tell her. So it's obviously bigger than me. It's almost to me even selfish. If I wasn't gonna get something from it to just keep creating for no reason. Like that's where I'm at with it now. That's why it's different now. Like y'all, what y'all were hearing before, and even when you met me, it was the dude. I'm the best. Nobody's better than me. This is what I have to do. This is what I was born to do. Now I'm like, probably could have made half of that material and sold 10 times as much. Okay, hindsight's 2020. It is what it is. But like these records coming out now, there's money behind them. There's promotion
Mm-hmm.
behind them. There's gonna be physicals. Like I said, anybody out there, if you want to make the best record you've ever made in your life, message me. It's literally you're one message away from sounding better than you really are. That sounded rude. You're one message away from working with the best artist you ever have. You know what I'm saying? Like you're one text message away from making the best record you ever made in your life. I'll write it tonight while she's sleeping. I'll record it
Wait a
tomorrow when
minute,
I drop her off.
I gotta pause you for a second. When you go back when we get off the live and you go back and you talk to your friends, pull up and reference that line that you just
That was
said
so arrogant.
and explain to them that is why my man's in them is if me and him is still friends because I can make him laugh off some I can just crack him
And
up off some ill
I was just
stuff.
saying, I didn't even mean to like. I just like as I'm saying that, I'm like, oh man, that didn't. Now, and mind you, you laughed because you know I meant it. Not
Right?
I was trying to be funny.
But then you came back and said that sounded rude. Like,
It
okay,
did
it was like
because in my head now. Because here's the thing. Now after I just did dad stuff. So you got Derek is out the window and having you know what I mean. So like Impulse will just say, I'll for $250, I'll give you the best song you ever had, and the next one's gonna cost more, blah blah blah. But at me as as a man with respect and everything, it's like I'm willing to bet that if you send me a verse and or send me a beat and your favorite artist a beat with no direction, I'm gonna send you a song back. He's gonna give you some hot bars, potentially. And it depends on who we had around. Like I think we were like I won't put you out there, but I think like we were. I was talking to one of my homeboys earlier, and Drake got referenced, and we just started laughing because it's like, what one of his whack lines did he actually write?
who Drake?
Yeah, like because when he first came out, like he was, he was writing and he sounded a particular way. Remember, he had that
Yeah.
whole. He had a battle in the style. Obviously, honestly, was grafted from battle rap to where he does the similes and metaphors, but takes the like out, where he'd be like, hair falling out, chemo, or something like that. Swimming
Right.
in the water, Nemo. Instead of saying swimming in the water like Nemo, that's all he did was different, was take the like out. But
Mm.
he wasn't the first one to do that. He wasn't even the first one in Toronto to do that. But if you notice, every project he's done, he's reinvented him. Let me do this. He reinvented himself. Prince didn't reinvent himself that well because
No.
Prince made all of his own music. I'm gonna give you a little trade secret. Rick Ross, I know people that have written verses for Rick Ross. Some of your favorite Rick Ross verses, my people wrote. None of your favorite rappers, once they become your favorite and you've heard of them, that's not even them. Dr. Dre doesn't even make all of his own beats and all that. Kanye West, come on now,
Yeah.
come on now.
Once you get to a certain point, you got to start hiring some folks to
One
do some
second.
stuff for you. Like
Yeah,
Diddy, that was the biggest thing with the bit, and Diddy made no bones about it. It's like, yeah, I got a production team. This ain't just me. It's just my money. My money is making this happen, so
take a
my name
break.
goes on the label.
Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. You're done. You're done for a minute. She started stemming super hard. But yeah, no. So like, like I said, a lot of these guys, and the funny thing is, if people don't believe me, check the track listings, which nobody does anymore. And a lot of these guys, the benefit of everything being digital is that you don't have hard copies with names listed. But go listen, see who wrote the songs. I think
Well,
everybody knows like the stuff that Beyonce was like winning awards for. She had like I think 19 writers or something. There's 19 people credited for one 4-minute song. How did she win an award? That's like, can you imagine Pablo Picasso?
My wife and I had
Or can you imagine Michelangelo being like, hey, I can't give you this painting until Da Vinci colors it in. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, come on, dude. Like these. Anyway, like I said, that's why rap is the easiest. No piano. You're no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No piano. Piano's all done.
my wife and I had a good laugh about that last night. I forgot what movie it was we watched. Oh, we watched The Upside, Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. And there's a Bruno Mars song in there. There's a lot of classical music in it as well. And we're looking through, we like to watch all the credits. And there go all the music credits popping by. And there's such and such by Pagliani and such by Beethoven and such by Chopin. Then there's the Bruno Mars song with Perm. Like all these other songs, like 2 lines. It's like that much of the screen.
Oh, because this guy, and he's a sucker, because and people told me I look like him, so that might be a reason I don't like the guy. On top of it, but I remember somebody like he has a couple of records that like I think it's called Unorthodox Jukebox, if I'm not mistaken. There's a couple of songs on there I liked, but they were the deep cuts, like the non-singles. Every one of his singles is in a straight rip of something else or an interpolation. The one I'm too hot damn, and to touch myself in an attractive man. If nobody recognizes that, I don't even want to know you. Like, you guys don't know where that's from? Like, literally, you could go down his songs. I probably don't know the titles, but if you do the melody for me, I'm going to think of the original song first. Shoot, if you've seen Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, then you automatically should know where that song came from. And if you don't know what you know what I mean? And that's why, I don't want to disrespect the guy and hate on him and say he's not talented, because it does, I guess, take talent to steal that well. But, if Bruno Mars is talented, then so is Robin Thicke, I guess.
Well, I had to put this out there. I think part of the reason that people like Bruno is because Bruno, even though he is definitely heavily, the term is called heavily influenced. Even though he is very heavily influenced by these genres, he is giving people. It's different than the
I'm just hating on him. Yeah, no, he's way more talented than I was just giving him credit for. You're like I said, you're the straight man. This is like the perfect. Like I say the over the top thing. You make the realistic statement, and then I have to admit that I meet you in the middle. But no, he's like the guy can play piano. It's just like just like Lady Gaga, for example. Lady Gaga actually wrote before she was Lady Gaga, and she was stealing from Madonna. Before she was stealing from Cyndi Lauper. Before she was stealing from the white women I grew up listening to in the 80s and being called white for listening to them, she actually was writing piano concertos.
Yeah.
Like full-on writing.
The popular music paid the popular. Peabo Bryson was the same way, bro. Remember Peabo?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Peabo Bryson wrote classical music.
Yeah.
But Feel the Fire and The Whole New World and Beauty and the Beast kept the lights on. You get that?
And I was gonna say, and even Elton John initially didn't want to do The Lion King. But that check, and he wasn't in the best place in his life. But that check came through, and now everybody was. And now they literally associate that movie and that series with him.
Yes,
and like certain people and like certain artists, like And then the funny thing is, I'm sure someone watching this is like, man, if Paul says something popular, he wouldn't talk like that. But I'm not into a lot of popular things other people are, so I don't think that's ever been my wheelhouse, and I don't think it's possible. The only way that I would get popular is if people cared about real things.
Ooh, you mentioned Elton John. Another fun fact. And this actually
also he had a writer too. We got to give Bernie his Bernie Taupin.
Yeah.
Taupin, yeah. Like some of your favorite Elton John songs, he didn't write. He didn't
Yeah,
like,
or he
or he
co-wrote
didn't
them.
write the words to. He wrote the melodies. Yeah, I will never take away from his piano. I will never ever take away from that.
Fun fact, and this is gonna and there's gonna be some people that are gonna watch this nigga and go, well, damn, fingers, tell us how you really feel. And this one ties into me and the missus and kind of the whole becoming Mr. and Mrs. Fingers. For my birthday, friends of mine bought tickets for me to go see Billy Joel and Elton John, the face-to-face concert at National Stadium.
Be still my heart, dude, for real. Like that's,
bruh. I like me and Billy. No disrespect to Elton John, but
but Billy Joel, dude.
between the
But
two of them, Billy Joel is my
Joel,
dude.
though, bro.
Billy Joel, that's my guy.
Bro,
Like
you may be right. I may be crazy, but you just may
yes,
be a lunatic you're looking for.
like Billy Joel, not the greatest singer in the world, phenomenal
Nah.
pianist, great, incredible songwriter, and went to see this show, and here I am at God, how old was I at that point? 39. Yeah, this is the same. This was matter of fact, this was like 2 weeks after I met the missus for the first time. And I'm drinking beers because we're in the dugout over there, drinking beers and playing cornhole. That plays into this story. And I get there and I'm sitting and I'm half tipsy and I wasn't very far from the stage. There's Billy Joel and I'm like, oh my God, that's Billy Joel. Billy Joel, and they do this bit. They do this. I found out it was a bit. Apparently they do a bit where the pedal on the piano's not working and they trade off on who storms off stage. Well, it was Elton John's night to storm off stage, and he, in his true fashion, he played it all up very dramatically. Right. Billy Joel just launches right into Angry Young Man, right off the bat. Bow! Kills it. Does a whole solid hour. Elton John comes out. I fell asleep on Elton John.
You can't have Elton John after Billy Joel. I'm sorry.
I fell asleep on Elton John. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I woke up for Crocodile Rock and a couple other songs, but I really like
Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets. But when he was saying "Someone Saved My Life Tonight," Sugar, but I'm into. I had a bunch of alcohol. I'm like, the alcohol might have played a factor.
And don't act like you weren't dancing to Tiny Dancer, bro. Don't act like you weren't.
I think I slept through Tiny Dancer.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. It's still a great song.
It's still a great song.
But you know, you were talking about Elton John. Elton John is regarded as one of the greatest musicians, songwriters, whatever, blah, 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 in musical history. I fell asleep on him. I woke up full-fledged when Billy Joel came back on. Now, to tie the story into the thing with
Did he play Anthony's song? Did he play Anthony's song?
Yes. I think he played everything.
Bro, that was the one that made me fall in love with him. That was the one that made me fall in love with him.
I mean, he played everything. Bro, the concert was 4 hours.
I think he can do that too. That's what, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the Downeaster, Alexa, My Life. It seems from the Italian restaurant, the whole night.
I was gonna say he could have just played 52nd Street, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Now concert's over. I go home. Had to catch a cab, of course. That was an expensive ass cab ride because I lived in Falls Church, but my friends covered it because it was a birthday present.
Shout out to FC.
Home, I'm laying in the bed. I'm feeling a little tipsy. I dig in my pocket. I look at this phone number this cutie gave me a couple weeks ago, and I finally said, I'm gonna call her. And I called her that night, and that was the whole start of me and her. Or it was the catalyst for us to start hanging out and leading towards being me and her.
Bro, so. Billy Joel, all right, so I used to work at this bar, and you weren't allowed to be there at the age I was at. It's not open anymore, so I can put them out there. It's a place that was called Mosby's Tavern in Middleburg. You ever heard of Mosby's Tavern? Remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the place to be in Middleburg, right? I used to sneak into the back pool room when it was closed, and I used to take they taught me the solo cup trick so that you only have to pay for one game. You pay for one game, you put solo cups in all the holes so that they catch the balls, and you just take the balls out and sit them off the table, and you only pay for one game and play all day. And do that the next time you guys go to a pool hall, see what happens. But so I would do that, and then my man had hacked the jukebox. There was a little remote for the jukebox, so I would just play whatever I wanted to listen to. And that's how I discovered a lot of people, because back then that was my YouTube, that was my Spotify. I'm not spending a dollar every time I want to check a song out. I'm just gonna play it. And I remember playing. He played Anthony's song. I'm moving out, and I remember
Man,
like,
Anthony works in the grocery
bro,
store. Day
and it
becomes
was
night
so
because of
visual.
bartender.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it was so
you can
visual, and I
see it.
remember
You can picture it as he's
I can,
telling the story.
bro, I could, and you. I remember when he was like, "You ought to know by now
Yes, sir.
who needs a house out in Hackensack." Is
Is
that what
that
you
all
get
you
for
get
your
for your
money?
money? Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
bro, and I was just like, I was like, okay. I was like, this is just too real for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is too real. And that was 1996. I was making tapes in my school and like selling tapes, and that's when I started being like, how come nobody sampled this before? How come nobody? And
I'm surprised that nobody has actually.
well, and I was the one that started bringing classical records around my producer homies. I gave my entire collection to my man Dustin Burdett, Count Fifth, and was like, do your worst, bro. Like, there was a couple records I was like, I'm a purist, so you can't sample like Miles Davis Blue Moods or something like that. Like, that's sacrilegious. But how many different ways can you flip The Masquerade Is Over by David Porter? You know what I'm saying? Like Nautilus, for example. Nautilus. How many times has Nautilus been flipped? I think it's the most sampled record ever. You know what I mean? But hip hop lost the we love other forms of music. It lost the other respect. Like trap and all these other forms are great because they're based in hip hop. But hip hop's base is other forms of music. It's a melting pot. So I remember I used to not be able to kick it with people that only listen to rap. If you only listen to rap, I was like, nah, you need to expand a little bit. You need to broaden your horizons. Like, I can't, what's your favorite Stevie Wonder album? Not song. What's your favorite album?
Songs in the Key of Life.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have people that have been like, "Oh, I like the one with this song on it." And they didn't know the title, and I'm like, and that's how I used to be like, I can't rock with you. Now, enjoy what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I have friends that don't like the artists that I like. My lady, for example, is not a big fan of a lot of the music I'm into. Um, hey, take a break, please. Take a break.
Is she all right over
This is where I
there?
look like this is where I look like Mean Dad. She's in a bad mood, so I just have to take a break.
I
But
got you.
but yeah, like I said, my goal. So back to the legacy thing, because I know we do need to probably wrap up the live soon and all that. But so
Yep,
my
yep.
goal, folks out there, if you want to be in this catalog that's gonna grow exponentially for the remainder of my life, and if you want a record that in 20 years people are like, "Yo, did you hear about the record Pulse did with this guy too?" Like I said, message me, because that's my goal. My goal is bigger than rap. I don't want to go down in history with other rappers, because to me, the rappers that put out, like Jay-Z, I think he's declined pretty much since the second album. As far like I am less and less interested in what he's doing as he goes along. But that's just me. But like someone like Billy Joel, there was a period where he was just on an incline. And then you had the 80s come in and ruin everything with like really, really poor quality cocaine and overproduction of, certain things. But there's
Hmm.
like a period where it's like this guy couldn't miss.
Even
Bob,
in
Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan had like 17 years straight where everything he wrote was golden. And then something happened. You know what I
well,
mean? But there's like,
even with
I
the
want to,
advent of the '80s, Billy Joel still. I
he
mean,
still was doing it. Bro,
the
why
Innocent
am I,
Man,
yo,
and
my
that
bad.
was an
I
Innocent
just
Man. That
disrespected
was
him. I just disrespected him. You're right, because we didn't start the fire, which is pop. For him, is still fire because he's spitting. Billy Joel, that he had a better flow than like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember listening to
then
We Didn't
Quavo.
Start the Fire.
He got
Yeah,
better flow than Quavo.
bro, and he's out. Oh my god, oh my god. But I remember hearing that and being like, this is rap. Like, and then like
Hmm.
the way he ended his lines, like, I can't take it anymore. I was like, this is like punk rap on a piano.
All
I was
day,
like,
baby.
this is incredible. And again, like, going back and listening to it, Kaya, take a break, please. like going back and listening to it now, it's like that's what I want. I want to be in that regard. Like I said, I want to be revered. No piano. Piano's taking a break. Why don't you take a break?
I think
Nah, piano later. But yeah, like I want to be.
I think musically speaking, we all age, and at some point our skills begin to decline.
Exactly.
And I think even I don't think he tours anymore, or I mean he might still do a show here or there. I think it will be a very sad day in the world of music when we wake up to the news that Billy Joel has left us.
I don't even want to say that bro.
That is my dude all day.
That makes me sad thinking about it now. You know what I mean? But it's like, and like I said, I want to be revered by other artists too. Like that's the thing. Like I said, I want to go down in history as everything he ever did was solid. Like everything he ever did was solid. I want the consumers to feel that way, but more importantly, I want other artists like there's artists out there that I would probably like puke if I met them, just like through sheer excitement.
Mm.
And they're fanboying over, Billy Joel or Elton John or whoever. Like that's that respect amongst other artists. Like our mutual respect, and I'd like to think, whether people will admit it or not, I'm one of the more revered cats in the area for being outspoken, but also because he dropped another one. Oh, well, it can't be that good.
That's why I call you legendary, brother.
It's like he dropped the record. He dropped a record 6 weeks ago. He put out another one. It can't be that good. And then you play it, and you're like, oh my god.
See, and that's the thing, because you will put I know guys that are still trying to hustle mixtapes that they came in and tried to push on people at spots I've been working. And mind you, now I have not worked a regular gig in a bar since my last one was Ashburn Finnegan's on Monday nights.
Yeah,
that's how long it's been since I've had a regular gig. It's been 3 years now, and I've had dudes come and try and hustle the mixtape CDs, and I still talk to some of them. I'll be like, "Hey man, how's the music thing going?" I say, "Yeah man, I'm still trying to push this thing and see if it gets off the ground." I'm like, the whole music thing, period. And they're like, no. Remember the one I gave you? I'm like, the one you gave me 3 years ago. The same one you gave me 3 years ago. You still trying to get off the ground? Okay, all right.
Speaking of getting off the ground, like to make an analogy, it's like that's like making one version of Sputnik, and when it won't reach orbit, trying again with the exact same thing. That's insanity. It's like,
what is the definition of insanity?
Yeah, it's like you know what? Here's my thing. That record's not getting off the ground because it's not supposed to. You're not in it for the right reasons. You're not as good as you think you are. That record didn't work. Go make another one, bro.
Or it might not even be. It might not even be that the album wasn't good. It just didn't catch. How many times have you had somebody in your lifetime? Because I've had it happen to me, and I'm a music head, and I know you're a music head. When you peep at something, it's like, yo, this joint is fire, and they be like, oh, this is not their debut. Oh, it's not? And then you go back and catch the debut, and you're like, well, how come this never caught on?
Yeah.
That's
that was literally, like I said, that was the beauty of the time period I came up in. Like, my dad would have like every record from a particular artist, and he might like the latest one or the middle one. But my dad and I had a tumultuous relationship, which will come up on the record that's coming out. But I was always allowed to play his records because he knew I remember getting spanked because I scratched his Midnight Star record. Yeah, Midnight. Yeah, exactly. And this is Midnight Star in 1986. So I deserved my little spanking.
That's the electricity wet my whistle.
I remember. Jam. I still play another slow jam. Yeah, so
you know what though? Bomb. And I don't know if they still play, but when they were playing back in the day, whoo.
Tell me that's still not a joint for your wedding. Tell me that's not a perpetual wedding song. Like tell
slow
me that's
jam.
Slow
all
jam,
day long.
But like I said, the groups that we came up with, even the pop songs, like that's before pop music, in my opinion, got disgusting. But like the pop songs that came out, you could still, like a lot of people don't realize, Never Too Much is a pop song. Never Too Much by Luther Vandross is a pop song. But if you put it on right now, if I heard it in the background right now, I would lose what I was like. Nothing against this podcast, but I would be like,
yes, sir.
Ever love me.
That bass line, wait a minute. That bass line,
yeah. Hey,
I mean,
but even the time signature, even the switches, the "Oh my love," 1,000, like the way, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and like the transitions and stuff, like that. Find another 4.5 minute pop song where they play it the whole way through on the radio. That's back when 2.5 minutes, boom, get in, get out.
Well, Luther also was very masterful, because a lot of people just think that Luther sang. No, Luther also wrote. Like one of the biggest hits that I remember that he wrote that somebody else did was "Jump to It," the one that Aretha Franklin did. Yeah. And then if you listen to it, because with the time period it came out, you got that's a Luther song. Like listening to that and knowing that was a Luther song was just like hearing anything with the drum machine clap where he put the thing on the baby face clap. I call it the baby face clap.
The baby face clap, man.
You know.
But think about all the songs like once you did like I remember when I found out the Prince was The Time. You know what I mean? Like, and then like Jerry Jam and Terry Lewis, and like I remember discovering that whole Paisley Park and that whole Minneapolis connection, and that sound, and then realizing that everyone that came out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, for about 11 years came through Prince. Yeah, and it's like Prince would do a whole project and go, you know what? I don't know if this will be received well coming from me. Let me give it to a woman, and then she blows up. Like,
Sinead O'Connor.
Sheena Easton. Which again, I hope that people watching this, if none of these names, if a lot of these, I'm not even going to make fun of you. 5 minutes ago, I would have made fun of you. Now I'm thinking, if you don't know these names, that's fine. This is a history lesson for you. Look it up, because you're going to be inspired. You're going to fall in love with some of this stuff. Because again, that's
God. You know what?
So when you hear my raps, when you hear my music, I know you know this, but when you hear my stuff, that's what you're hearing. You're hearing Leadbelly. You're hearing Tennessee Wolf. Like you're Betsy, Billie Holiday, like all the way up to, again, Bad Brains. Mm-hmm. Like, and mind you, I'm just naming black artists for fun, but also, you know, like Black Flag, like that, it's everything. It's everything I enjoyed. I took everything I enjoyed and created, by default, on accident, I guess, created my sound or my aesthetic or whatever. If I tell you right now, if I could play a guitar, if I could play drums, if I could sing, I wouldn't rap. I did that one because it was the easiest one to do. I started rapping when I was 6 years old, and I could entertain an entire room of people clapping and going, "Well, my name's DJ, and I'm here to say that I like to eat bananas every day. And if you got me an apple and a Snapple, you can cut it up." And then people just like, "God, it's so cool." And I'm like, I'm making this up as I'm going along.
Oh man, wow! You taking me back. You know, I dabbled in hip hop for about that long in high school. Yeah. I was in a group called the Dynamic Duel, and it was 3 of us. It was DUEL.
Yep.
And I was the beatbox, believe it or not.
Yeah, man.
The other 2 dudes rap. It was 4 of us. I'm sorry, because it was the 2 rappers, MC Sergio. Oh God, I can't even know. Gino, MC Sergio. Then we had a DJ Jazzy Red, and then I was the beatbox. The beatbox, the human turntable, and I hadn't even at that point gotten developed like the Blake Lewis human turntable. That was just that was all I was doing, and it was like yo.
But even listen to y'all's names: MC Sergio, DJ's name has Jazzy in it. Those are homages to DJ Jazzy Jeff and all that. Like these kids don't even like now. The popular name is Lil So and So. Or putting your gang's initials afterward. When we were younger, it was MC so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Right? Or like, you know what I mean? Like there was
MC
a million
such and such and DJ so-and-so.
MC such and such, DJ so-and-so.
MC Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
DJ, and then DJ Jazzy Jeff, which everyone knows him, not everyone, but a lot of people know him as Will Smith's homeboy or the dude they threw off a porch. What they don't remember is he invented the Transformer scratch.
Yes, I remember that track. That's DJ Jazzy Jeff for the Transformer scratch. Yo, Jazzy, give him a little bit more.
And the first time he did it, which if you go back, and this is again, I employ all my hip hop heads to go back and listen to He's the DJ, I'm the rapper, because the DJ used to be the most important thing. That song itself, the title track is 7 minutes straight of pretty much
Jeff just
of him
going off.
and
Jeff
and
just
then
going off.
and then there's a song on there. I think it's the bonus track if you bought the record. I want to say it's on the tape too, but it's like the hidden track if I'm not
The
mistaken.
one where he's doing the live performance.
The live at Union Square joint, or Union Station, the live at Union Square, live at Union Square, 1986, and that was the first time Jazzy Jeff did the Transformer scratch live, and the crowd's going absolutely
Losing
insane.
I'm you know what you say you trying to curse. I'm gonna say it. The crowd lost their shit like twice.
Yeah.
Like yo Jeff,
Yeah.
give it to him again. And it's kind of that's DJ
Bro.
Jazzy Jeff for the Transformer
Bro,
scratch.
that makes me excited just thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that's the aesthetic that, and like if you listen to like a lot of my tracks, like even ones with cuts on it, me and the DJs usually collaborate on the cuts. Like I've had him do the old school, like literally find fresh, he'd be like fresh, and just cut the like, you know, like to me because it's like, again, man,
You mentioned Jazzy. I'm not trying to derail your train of thought. You mentioned Jazzy Jeff. I
Yeah,
know
man.
you've seen. It came out a couple years ago. The video dropped a couple years ago. The Peter Piper mix, where he goes ham on Peter Piper.
Oh yeah. That's the thing, and DJ Jazzy Jeff is still better than anybody. Like he's still better. He's still good. He still could rock a party with whatever. He could still, you know what I'm saying? Like and he still think about it, man. This man he's never had a real job. He doesn't even have to do anything. Like I'm sure that the residuals from the Fresh Prince days are still buying him cars. And this man could still put together a 7 to 11 minute routine over records that people have flipped a million times. And you're like, no one did it like that, though.
No.
That's a big deal to me. Like, again, like anybody can, the content that I've discussed, I'm not the first one to talk about a lot of this stuff. But I want to be the best one. Like, I mentioned firearms and things like that, but I never mentioned senseless violence. The reason I talk about firearms again is I promote self defense, and that's what I was brought up around. There's certain content that I don't touch, but that's not to say I can't listen to ignorant music. And like I grew up on MOP being like the toughest thing you could listen to. And now like Schoolboy Q and Vince Staples, which my man Jacob, who I introduced you to earlier, he's the one that put me onto them. It's like my favorite ignorant stuff right now. Because it's actually still done in the same vein, though. It's still like, it's still hip hop. It's not, and then that's not all they do. Like Schoolboy Q is actually, like I said, he's one of the guys that makes me excited about this generation. And Vince Staples, who's just repping his set all over the place, but he sounds so cool doing it, and that's part of hip hop. It's like I might not want to listen to it, but at least it sounds cool. You know what I mean? We. Apologize for me. I was gonna say, I think.
Hey, honey. Paul seriously sorry he kept me so long. We just chopping it up. That's all.
I was gonna say, I'll make you guys some virtual food or something. I'll make you. I'll figure out how to I'll make up for it, man. But like I said, man, this is, and to me, even like I said, this conversation, the organic nature of this conversation. We didn't talk about my music for like an hour, and we're only on that that long because to me it's like, all right, if you've never met me before, I could list all these records, I could post all these links. Well, to what avail? Like there's so many people out there to listen to. This is my opportunity to actually for you to experience me as a person.
Come in close. Let me show you who I am. If you're still interested, there's some music over there on the table. Boom.
Exactly. And guess what? If you don't like it, I have a little, I think 24 hours worth of music available on the internet. Like if you string all my stuff together, or like I think it's 16 hours. My homeboy told me he put all my music on a file or a jump drive, and he drove. I think he drove to Chicago and back, and it wasn't until he was on the way back till the song repeated. He said, I listened to your music for the entire drive to Chicago and never heard the same song twice. And I was like, I guess I never thought of it that way.
I have not gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, you've got to.
Now, if you count all the incomplete pieces that I've started and haven't finished, then maybe. But
and this is the part that you probably wouldn't even believe, but Dustin can tell you. I have at least 4 times as much music that no one's heard. I've lost entire records that, like, I just found one the other day. My homeboy played it for me that I only had ever made one copy, and it was a reference mix. And then I had it on my Zoom. This is might take you back. The Zoom MRS4B. I recorded an entire project on it, and I dropped it. I managed to save the little drive. I dropped it all on a CD.
How funny is that? Because I'm recording on a Zoom Live Track LA. That's what I'm recording the joint on right now.
I had the Dr. Sample 303, and I had my Zoom MRS4, and I did a whole album called Lemonade, and where I literally took. I took songs that had never been flipped, and then looped them, and then rapped over them. Like I took like Citizen Cope songs because he had just popped. This is like 2001, 2002, and like I literally.
Speaking of looping, I got something I need to holler at you about when we get off of here.
Okay.
Because I got something I might want to. I might just hand it to you and be like, I put this part on here. I'm gonna let you take the rest home. And it's nothing but it's a simple loop. Anyway, go ahead and finish that up. Then we need to close this down.
Yeah, man. But so to close it up, guys, I appreciate everybody kicking it with us and spending this time. If anything I said excited you at all, like I said, there's a bunch of music out there. I'm a human being. I teeter between 1,000 different moods. I assume that, and I'm willing to guarantee there is something out there for you. If not, like I said, I got like 6 or 7 things being mixed and mastered right now. I've actually restricted myself from starting anything except for this Flowers project that's already starting. The hamster wheel's turning. But I've restricted myself from writing anything new for about 3 or 4 months now, which if all my friends will tell you, that means there's going to be a flood this summer.
Yes, sir.
And so that's just, I guess, to the average person listening, the consumer or whatever. To the other artists out there, I grew up in the era where we'd hate the whack MCs and we complain about stuff. I'm way past that now. There's always a balance. Even back in the day when everyone remembers how cool this or that guy was, people forget there were whack artists out there too. For every Rakim out, there was, I don't even remember their names because they were so whack, but for every Rakim, there's unnamed Rakim clones. There's this person. For every Big Daddy Kane, there's a dude that lived on the same street to try to rap like him. Like
I can't even say Dana Dane was a bad Slick Rick clone because his songs were still pretty tight.
Hey man, sitting on Dana Dane's, bro. Like Dana, and he had his own personality. He might have rapped like Slick Rick, in my opinion, too, but he had his own personality.
Cause I used to bump in the fella Dana Dane because I be rocking Dana Dane with Fame. Yes, sir,
bro. And even appreciate you. But even like that's my personal chef right there. No, I'm just kidding. But even like trying to think of who else. Like Kwame, for example. Kwame, who I even wrote off as kind of as a gimmick and all that. And like Father MC and some of those guys that cats don't realize, like if there's certain songs that they created, if those songs didn't happen, we wouldn't have
certain other songs.
You know what I mean? Even LL Cool J, man. If LL Cool J hadn't done I Need Love, it wouldn't have been cool to rap about needing love. It wouldn't have been cool. Like
Father MC, you touched on Father MC, Jodeci.
Bro, and Mary J. Blige, a lot of people don't realize the first time you heard Mary J. Blige was Father MC.
Yeah, there were a few people that came behind that. And then remember Bus just going off on Western 411? The intro before the first track came in, like there's so many things that like if this hadn't happened, then this wouldn't happen, and then that.
Oh my God! Speaking of what's the 411, bro, Grand Poobah. If Grand Poobah and Mary hadn't collaborated the way they had, you wouldn't have had Mary and Method Man. If you didn't have Mary and Method Man, you wouldn't have Beyonce and Jay-Z on a song. Like there's like things that had to happen, and sometimes they were really, really great. and they stand the test of time. Other times are just worthy of being acknowledged. I want to
it was
do
hot.
both.
It was hot for the minute. And
So,
then,
so there's the cap on it. I'm doing both. You're going to acknowledge me now, and you're going to revere and respect this forever. No, piano after your apple. Hey, eat your apple first. First apple, then piano.
Well, here's what we're gonna do, Mister.
I threw in a little sign language for y'all.
I saw that. Here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we thank you all for joining
this excursion. This was
today.
An excursion, guys.
This was a journey. This was like Lakeside. Come along and ride on a fantastic slide.
Wait, did those guys? Wait, those are the guys that sampled Coolio.
Right, dude. Remember? Listen. Nicki Minaj put out Anaconda, and so many people were wondering who's this fat dude from Seattle doing Nicki's song. Baby girl, we gonna have to sit over in the corner, and Uncle Mike, Money Mike, is gonna come over and school you on a few things in just a bit.
Yeah, man. So guys, all of this. This is, like I said, this is how we talk. This is how our minds work. Your favorite artists, whether they talk about it or not, they got influences as well. You know what I mean? Like
all day.
Like dig. Listen to your favorite artists. Find their favorite artists. Listen to them. Find their favorite. Like eventually, you know what I mean? You're gonna discover. Oh my God! There's just, like I said, there's just so much out there. You're not restricted to what's on the radio. You're not restricted to what's popping right now.
Go crate diving. You know, actually, put your Spotify, instead of shuffling through what you like, get on Spotify, hit shuffle, listen to new stuff.
Yeah. And you can start with Empuls, EMPULS. No, you know what I mean? I think that's the only part of shameless promotion I did. And I don't say shameful. There's no shame in my promotion.
No, man, shoot. Whatever puts them digits in the bank account, we keep that fridge full.
But we're gonna end this. We're gonna end this right though.
Well, actually,
we got to give you a props to Mr. Fingers though, because, like I said, like this is how, like I said, you got the best interview. Well, we're also we're folks, so this, I'm not surprised, but this, I guarantee you, is the best interview I've ever done, because this is the one that felt the best. It's just, I never included my daughter. Like I don't. Like this isn't even my house. Like I said, I'm chilling with my people right now.
But I've been introduced to Kaya. Like she might not remember me, but we've spoken on a couple of occasions.
Exactly. So this is like I said, guys. Like it's, and this is in all of the little. This is a portion of my life that create the music that I make, and I appreciate you. Make sure I'm pointing at you. I appreciate you for the platform. I appreciate you for the friendship. I appreciate your wife for tolerating this conversation. And
she just went back in. She came through. She went outside on the patio for a little bit. She just went back in.
But yeah, man, like I said, man, I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate everyone that watched this, whether it was 3 minutes or the 180 minutes that it ran. Like you guys.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna have fun trying to figure out how to get this to you. It's a big file. It's a wave.
It is, as the kids will say, it is a wave. No, but you might have to send space it, or we have to. What they do, Dropbox for huge files or whatever. But
something like that. We'll figure it out.
But guys, like I said, if your favorite artist can't sit and do this, then the whole image is fake. If you can't sit, I don't think that Quavo could sit and talk to you for 3 hours straight, because he doesn't even know that many words in the English language. Like, think about it. Like, what's the longest interview you've ever seen by your favorite artist?
Lord have mercy. Wait a minute. You've been dropping these all day, but I got to put one on that one. That Quavo. Shots fired. Shots fired.
And you know the best part about it is I actually don't know anything about the guy other than I don't like his music, and I think he's the one that married not Nicki Minaj, but Cardi B. I actually don't know.
No, Cardi B is married to Future. Not Future. Future was with
right?
Sierra. What is that boy's name? I don't know. It's Quavo. It's somebody else. But
well, there you go.
I
mean, but see, there you go. That's how important that is to my life. And I wish their child well. I wish their child well and all that. But ain't nobody gonna tell me either one of them are talented. You know. But if you like, and again, I don't want to leave it on the super negative thing. If you like Cardi B, that's fine. But Cardi B has influences too. Listen to them. If you guys like Cardi B, you'll love JJ Fad.
Oh man.
Right? You know what I mean? Like,
which was the inspiration
for
for
Fergalicious.
well, actually, not just that.
Not just that.
Was actually the inspiration for the Chopper verse on Rap God. Lyrics coming at you with supersonic speed, JJ Fad. Yeah, see, so
And
bro, that's why I love chopping it up with you.
Hey, and if JJ Fad had been from New York, you wouldn't know who Salt and Pepper was. Fight me if you disagree. Not you, but like that's gonna make some people mad. But if JJ Fad was from New York, you would never would have heard Salt and Pepper, bro. That's all I'm just gonna. And so with that being said, because I'm glad we shouted out some ladies at the end. If you like Meg Thee Stallion and like Cardi B and all that, that's cool. Go back and listen to Lisa Lee. Check out the Funky 4+1, MC Shy Rock, Rhapsody, who knew now, Psalm 1. I am what, aka Jean Grey. Like I implore you to dig, dive, and digest.
Lady
and that
Rage,
just made me sound so smart.
MC Light. We could do
bro,
this
Moni Love. Don't even like I said, man.
Come on now, Moni got her 5 minutes, but she didn't get what she should have deserved.
And Moni Love looks the same. I don't know if you've seen her recently.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's doing, but all she must do is drink water and sit.
She's drinking from the same fountain Lenny Kravitz is drinking from, because Lenny Kravitz is like 60-some odd years old and look in better shape than me.
Yeah, Moni Love looks like all she did was grow hair. Like she just grew longer hair, but she looks the same from the lady's first video. Oh, we can't forget The Brat. The best female verse in the world is, and I'll stand on this, is The Brat's verse on "Sock It to Me" by Missy Elliott. That is a showstopper, scene stealer. No one can deny or argue that. It's impossible to debate that. And again, see, I delineated again, guys. I'm gonna have to have Mr. Fingers close this out because I'm not. Now my brain is going, and I'm not good.
Well, I do appreciate your time, my brother. I had to go crate diving to find this to close out with. Folks, we appreciate y'all tuning into this week's edition of Indie and Unsigned, Season 2, Episode 8. I see you. I see you. We will be back. I think we're going to take a hiatus next week because brothers got midterms. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll have the guests ready to go and announce and all that stuff. Pulse, I need you to hang out after we go offline here. So,
yeah, absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.
Ladies and gentlemen.